year one in case you have to cough or something.
Good.
Thank you, Bill. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Coming to you live from John Stella Field at Brown Park, about a 10-minute drive from the Bellevue University campus. We bring you the final weekend of North Star Athletic Association regular season play on the baseball diamond as the home team Bellevue University Bruins take on the visiting University of Jamestown Jimmies. Good afternoon, everyone, from a cloudy and kind of cool Friday afternoon in the Omaha, Nebraska area. We bring you baseball that'll wind up the final standings for the regular season in the North Star Athletic Association. To confuse you today, I'm Mick Krupski, and the guy doing the color is also Mick Krupski, a father and son production coming your way. Mick, welcome to the broadcast.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Mick's a longtime baseball player as myself, so we're glad you can join us today for today's presentation. Before we begin with our announcements of lineups and statistics and things like that, what do you look forward to as maybe a key for this afternoon's contest?
Well, with the Bruins with their ace on the hill today, Parker McMahon, gone the distance the last 3 times out, hard luck loser his last time on the mound. You're looking for him to really put you in a position to win the game today. You expect him to keep these hot Jamestown bats at bay, and if he can do that, you're in a great spot to at least give yourself a chance in the first of this 4-game set.
The strength of the Jamestown team, looking at their season stats, what would that be to you?
Definitely a team that hits the ball well. Their offensive stats, I would say, outweigh their pitching stats quite easily. Ryan Muzalar hitting .434 on the season, Chase Burke .385, Isaiah Roebuck .364. Some of their top guys in the lineup, they put the bat on the ball. So McMahon's going to have his work cut out for him today.
These two schools, the top team in the 6-member North Star Athletic Association. Bellevue in first place with a 15-1 record. They've already clinched at least a tie for the regular season conference championship. Jamestown in second place, 11-5. For Jamestown to win the conference, they would have to sweep all 4 of the games today. Bellevue just needs 1 of the 4 in order to secure that conference championship outright. Dickinson State and Dakota State, both with 7-9 conference records, they're tied for third place. Then comes Mayville State, 5-11, and Valley City State bringing up the rear at 3-13. As you look down on the field, you see the 2 head coaches and the umpiring crew going over the ground rules here at John Stella Field. Coach Tom Hager leads the Jamestown Jimmy program. Dwayne Monlek leads the Bellevue University program. Those two have met occasionally on the field prior to this one. These two teams formerly part of the conference, now for one more year part of the North Star Athletic Association as they shake hands and we get ready for the first pitch in this afternoon's contest. The Bruins are 32-13 overall, as we mentioned, 15-1 in first place in the North Star. They're back in the NAIA coaches top 25 poll in the number 24 spot in the latest iteration of that. For the Jamestown Jimmies, they are 32-12 overall, 11-5 in second place in conference. Bill Mullins, public address announcer, live stats guy, sports information guy, wearing 3 different hats again today. Alec Boji along with us as well. 4-man press box for this afternoon's contest. 52 degrees, a cloudy day, a slight wind out of the north. That means it's coming in from left field. Not too blowing right now, but we expect gusts up into the teens as the day goes on, and they're hoping by the end of the day maybe we'll see a few rays of sunshine as well. As you would expect for the top 2 teams in the conference, most of the leaders in the NSAA are from the Bruins or from the Jimmies. Mickey mentioned Ryan Muzalar leading the conference with a .434 batting average. The Bruins' Steven Elsner in second place with a .389. Chase Burke from the Jimmies in third place at .385. Isaiah Roebuck at .364 in seventh place, and then the Bruins' Jake Lacey in ninth place with a .354 average. Elsner leads the way in runs batted in. He's also tied with Muzalar and Logan Grant, all 3 of those players with 52 runs batted in on the season for their respective squads. The Bruins, Steven Elsner with 19 home runs, Logan Grant with 16, and Ryan Muzalar with 13. They're the top bats in the home run categories as well. So Whether it's an offensive display or a pitching exhibition today, we'll see that come to the fore in just a little bit. Parker McMahon for the Bruins and Avery Leastman for the Jimmies, a battle of right-handers in today's contest. As you look down to the field, the Jimmies are being introduced. They'll be in the third base dugout wearing their black and orange uniform tops, their school colors. The Bruins, as usual, will be on the first base side, gold and purple and white. The Bruins colors on the ball diamond. Let's take a look at today's starting lineup. First of all, for the visiting team, the Jamestown Jimmies. Leading off and playing center field will be Chase Burke. Batting second and playing second base is Alex Alva. The three-hole hitter, their leading hitter, first baseman Ryan Muzalar. The cleanup hitter is the designated hitter, Jordan Singleton. Batting fifth and catching is Tristan Madison. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Isaiah Roebuck. Batting seventh and playing left field is Julian Romero. The eight-hole hitter is the shortstop, Landon Runge. And batting ninth, the playing third base, is Ricky Okamoto. On the mound this afternoon, right-hander Avery Leastman, a 6-3 record, a 4.62 earned run average on the season. For the Bellevue Bruins, now taking the field and lining up the first base line. Leading it off and playing third base will be Scott Henson. Batting second and playing first base is Steven Elsner. The three-hole hitter is the catcher, Logan Grant. Batting fourth, the center fielder, Jake Lacey. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Aiden Macaris. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Elijah Tanner. Batting seventh and right fielder, Anthony Lind. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Nick Gravel. And batting ninth, the shortstop, C.J. Townsend. Parker McMahon on the hill for the Bruins, 5-2 on the season, a 2.70 earned run average. Joe Cassidy will be the umpire behind home plate today. Sean Johnston and Braxton R. will be doing the duties on the bases. All right, time now for everybody to stand and get ready for our national anthem. All right, we're just about ready for first pitch as the teams head back toward their respective dugouts. And we'll have the action coming your way. Thanks for joining Mick and me on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network today. Mick Krupski and Mick Krupski bringing you the broadcasts. We've worked together in the past a couple of times for baseball and basketball. Bellevue University, a former employee of Mickey back in the day. Videographer, video producer.
A lot of hats.
A lot of hats for you, too, as well. Parker McMahon takes to the hill for the Bruins. Can you give us a little bit more information about Parker?
Yeah, Parker, the big 6'3", 200-pound right-hander out of Bozeman, Montana, by way of Umpqua Community College. 11 games started and 12 appearances this year. He's 5-2 over 63 1/3 innings. He's got a 2.7 ERA and 65 strikeouts.
Let's set the Bellevue defense behind McMahon. Across the infield, Steven Elsner is at first base. Nick Gravel is at second. C.J. Townsend is the shortstop, and Scott Hansen at third base. Across the outfield, Elijah Tanner in left. Jake Lacey is in center, and Anthony Lynn in right field. The battery mate for Parker McMahon behind the plate, Logan Grant. Pretty much the same starting lineup we've seen for the Bellevue Bruins for a good chunk of this 2025 season. Again, if you're just joining us, a little cool and cloudy day. Temperature right now 52 degrees. Wind out of the north. That means it'll be blowing in from left field, so you have to put a little extra jolt to get it out of here today. Turf field at John Stella Field. Been this way for about the past 5 years or so. It's been the home of the Bellevue Bruins for the last 8 years. As we get ready for the first pitch, leading it off for the Jamestown Jimmies, the center fielder, Chase Burke.
Leading off for the Jimmies, the center fielder, number 3, Chase Burke.
Here's the first pitch from Parker McMahon. Fastball misses low and away.
Burke hitting .385 on the year, also leads the team in on-base percentage at .503, so a good table setter for the Jimmies.
McMahon will work exclusively from the stretch. Next pitch, little comebacker up the middle. Nick Ravel able to knock it down, but he can't make a play. So a leadoff single for Chase Burke. Little comebacker that McMahon wasn't able to field, and Gravel got a glove on it but couldn't corral it.
Tough play for either of them to really get there. A lot of slice action on that ball coming off the right-hander's bat. Tough play, so probably scoring that one a hit today.
Two-hole hitter is the second baseman, Alex Alva. Looking down to the third base coaching box. Getting a signal as McMahon works with the runner on. Quick throw to first base. Back in time is Burke. Tom Hager, the head coach for the University of Jamestown, now in his 26th season. An experienced guy down there. Dwayne Monlix, the head coach of the Bellevue Bruins, in his 15th season here after 9 years at his alma mater, Dickinson State. On the outside corner, strike one called.
Alva didn't like that one. He's hitting .342 on the season, so he knows how to get the bat on the ball. Let's see if they can move the runner over here, at least in front of their big bat, Muzalar.
Bellevue third baseman Scott Hansen in from his normal third base spot, trying to take away the bunt up the third base side. Let's see if Alva tries to put it up the first base side if he's still in bunt mode. He is. That pitch a little outside. Grant with the throw down to first, not in time. 1-1 the count. 325 down the lines at John Stella Field at Brown Park. About 380 to straightaway center field. No one knows exactly the total distance to center field. Dwayne Monlick said they never really did take out a tape and measure it out there, but it's about 380. Runner goes on the hit and run. C.J. Townsend able to get back to his spot to make the catch on the play, diving back toward where he came from, but his throw to first base not in time, so a successful contact play there by Alex Alva, advancing Burke to second.
Really nice play just to keep that ball in the infield from Townsend. If that gets into the outfield, that runner's definitely moving to third base. Keep him, at least keep the double play in order here with the heart of the order coming up.
Here's the leading hitter and the leading power threat for the Jamestown Jimmies, first baseman Ryan Muzalar. Muzalar with some impressive numbers on the season.
Yeah, we mentioned .434 batting average on the season.
First pitch, breaking ball, gets the outer half, strike one called.
Nice little slider, probably up a little bit from where he wanted that one, but he'll bite off a piece of the corner. I don't think Muzalar was expecting that leading off the at bat for him here.
And now Bellevue first baseman Steve Elsner, the one playing in a little bit to try to take away the bunt. Three-hole hitter into the game. Probably not going to be bunting here. Your power threat. Give him a chance to swing the bat. McMahon, the double look, the runner back to second. Another breaking ball and another called strike. Back-to-back locations there.
That one was painted on the lower outside corner there. That's exactly where McMahon wants to keep that slider to the big power bat from the Jimmies.
Do you waste a pitch here or do you go right at him?
Well, he seemed slider. If it's me, I'm going high out of the zone with some cheese here.
McMahon comes set just above the belt. Again, the look, the lead runner back at second. Tries to go that breaking ball once again, a little further away. Grant tried to frame it, but a little bit off the outside edge. Now 1-2 the count.
Yeah, right back to that tight slider. Just see how far off that corner we'll get the call here. Just see. Let's see if he's throwing 3 straight sliders here. Do you come back inside with a fastball? Do you go to another slider? He's got him in a good spot here.
Again, the set, the look, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, another slider. The strikeout is the first out of the inning as Ryan Muzalar goes down.
Yeah, 4 straight breaking balls there from McMahon. You don't see that very often. Nice tight slider, kept them all on the outside corner. Going to be a tough pitch for Muzalar to do any damage to, so nice job pitching there from McMahon.
Next up for the Jimmies, the cleanup hitter, DH Jordan Singleton. Second lefty of the 4 batters to face right-hander Parker McMahon. Shortstop Townsend trying to keep the runner close at second base. Steal attempt of third on the money with the throw. Logan Grant, the quick release. The tag applied by Scott Hansen. And I don't know if I'm stealing that situation with your cleanup guy.
Definitely not with a left-handed cleanup there. Clean throw for Grant to make that one to third. Got the tag right on the helmet. I mean, that was a dart down to third base to get the lead runner.
So Burke retired on the throw to third base. Alex Alva now at second, the trailing runner on the double steal. So 2 outs on the inning now. 1 ball, no strikes, the count on Singleton. Wide open stance in the left-handed batter's box. That fastball just misses. Now 2-0. Open base at first, so McMahon can work carefully against the cleanup hitter.
Singleton is a guy who will strike out to 28 strikeouts on the season. That is the most on this team. So somebody you probably don't want to give one to here. Try to nibble around the edge to see if you can get him to chase.
That's going to be hit to the left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Tanner able to get to it, but he'll make no throw to the plate. As that one right down over near the line will score. Alex Alva from second base, an RBI single by Jordan Singleton, the first run of the afternoon.
Yeah, that was a great piece of hitting. The little outside fastball just took it that way through the 56 hole, drove in the first run.
Next up for the Jimmies, the 5-hole hitter, catcher Tristan Madison.
Number 5, Tristan Madison.
1 run in. Another breaking ball, misses a little bit low and outside. As Mickey mentioned earlier, McMahon with 3 complete games his last 3 outings. Only allowed 1 run on 4 hits, struck out 11 in the loss to Dakota State last weekend. Now 2-0 the count on Madison.
Madison 329 on the season. Not a ton of pop, only 4 home runs. And Singleton at first, no stolen bases and no attempts on the season. So not somebody you have to worry about over there.
That sounds like my stolen base record. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one's lined to Gravel at second base. He'll make the catch to retire the side. For the University of Jamestown in the top of the first, they pick up 1 run on 3 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base after a half. It's the Jimmies 1 and the Bellevue Bruins coming to bat. Hey, as we always do on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network, we invite you to be part of our broadcast. If you'd like to, you can send along a text message to us. Let us know who you are, where you are, which team you're supporting, and any words of wisdom or greeting that you want us to send along. My number is 402-515-7654. Bellevue fans, you've had that number all season long. Jamestown fans, we invite you as well to send along your greetings. 402-515-7654. Some of our Bellevue faithful already in the queue. We'll get to those in just a little bit as we talk about the defensive alignment for the University of Jamestown. Ryan Muzalar is the first baseman. Alex Alva is at second. The shortstop is Landon Runge, and the third baseman is Ricky Akamoto. Across the outfield, Julian Romero is in left, Chase Burke is in center, and the right fielder is Isaiah Roebuck. The battery for the Jimmies behind the plate is Tristan Madison, and on the mound is Avery Leastman.
Leastman, a 6'4", 212-pound right-hander out of Litchfield, Minnesota, by way of Itasca Community College. He has a .462 earned run average on the season and is 6-3 in 11 starts.
Wind picking up just a little bit more than it was just a few minutes ago, coming in out of the north, blowing from left towards home plate. It'll be Hansen, Elsner, Grant, Lacey, Macaris, Tanner, Lind, Gravel, and Townsend. The batting order for the Bruins to face right-hander Avery Leastman.
The third baseman, number 4, Scott Hansen.
Here's third baseman Scott Hansen to lead it off for the Bruins.
Hansen batting .349 on the season.
The windup and the first pitch. Strike one called on the knees on the inner half on the offering from Avery Leastman. Bellevue had a 17-game winning streak come to an end last weekend as they dropped the opener to Dakota State. That pitch misses away, 1-1 the count. In fact, Nikolai Arbach, who held the Bruins in check last Friday, was named the NAIA Pitcher of the Week nationwide for that effort. Breaking ball misses, 2-1. Bruins averaging 8.5 runs per game on the season, a .319 batting average. 2-1 count, Leisman back to work. Hansen takes that pitch, call on the inside corner, 2-2.
Carbon copy of that first pitch, just a nice little two-seam fastball boring in on that inside corner. Hansen right up on top of that plate.
Leisman shakes off the first suggestion from his catcher. Now finds one he likes, a sweeping breaking ball, the strikeout for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Leisman, couple good two-seam fastballs on that inside corner there, went right back to that sweeping breaking ball he missed the first time with. Got Hansen to chase that one.
Here's the Bruins' first baseman, Steven Elsner. Elsner has that power stroke back. He clubbed 4 home runs in the last week or so of play.
Yeah, the top offensive threat this season for the Bruins, .389 with 19 home runs and a .479 on base percentage.
Another breaking ball, a swing and a miss by Elsner.
Yeah, Leisman's really spotting that kind of, it's not quite a little sharp slider like McCann has. It's not quite that 12-6. You know, a lot of guys call it the sweeper nowadays.
Yep.
It was a slurve. That's what you called it back in my day of playing.
Another one of them. This time it stays down low.
Watching him warm up, too, it looked like he kind of had 2 different breaking balls. One almost looked like a knuckle curve kind of dancing out of the lower part of the zone. The other, that kind of more sweeping breaking ball. That was more of the sweeper there.
Holding his glove up in front of his face as he gets the signal. And that one's launched to left field. Left fielder going back to the warning track to the fence. And he will just be able to make the play. There was the wind affecting that blast by Steven Elsner. It looked like left fielder Julian Romero was just going to watch that one go over the top of the fence, but the wind kept it in play.
I thought that
and
was
it's a long
seat there.
Yeah, a long fly ball to left field for the second out of the inning.
Elsner just got under that one a little too much. Absolutely. Seemed like it was tattooed. The wind just kept that one in enough.
Here's the Bruins' other main power threat, catcher Logan Grant, batting in the 3-hole spot. First pitch swinging, popped up. Will it stay in play? Catcher chasing, third baseman chasing, now adjusting for the wind, and it will be the third baseman, Ricky Akamoto, who will make the catch to retire the side. So a couple of sky-high fly balls in the inning. The Bruins a 3-up, 3 down, bottom of the first. After 1 inning of play, 1 for the Jimmies and nothing for the Bruins. All right, again, that text message number if you want to join us today, 402-515-7654. From Bill and Pam Townsend, who are here in the ballpark today. They're burning up those airline miles, coming to the Omaha area. At least 3 times this year they've been here. Baby, let's go Bruins. Great to be here. Always good to have you guys in attendance today. Our second text from a Jamestown student, but my brother is DH Aiden Macaris from Bellevue, so I don't know who to cheer for. That's quite a dilemma. Maybe a Jimmy's win, but a Macaris bomb. All right, thanks for joining us today. So Aiden's here, his brother's up in Jamestown.
I think we'll sign up for at least the second part of that.
Yeah. Again, if you weren't with us for the beginning of the game, the Bruins with a 4-game lead in conference play. Bellevue only needs 1 win this weekend to win the conference regular season title outright. But the Bruins hoping for more to launch them into conference tournament play. That begins next week, Friday, I believe, up in Dickinson, North Dakota. They will host the 8-team tournament. The 6 North Star teams, along with 2 teams from the California Pacific Conference, will vie for that automatic berth in the tournament this year, something a little bit different with conference realignments going on throughout the NAIA. Bellevue has already qualified as the regular season champion if they win today or tomorrow for the automatic berth to the NAIA World Series. Leading off the top of the second inning, right fielder Isaiah Roebuck takes a called strike 1 on the first pitch from Parker McMahon.
Roebuck at .364 on the season. Not a ton of pop, 1 home run, but he has 9 doubles and 2 triples, so more gap-to-gap power, it looks like, looking at the stats of Roebuck.
Another breaking ball. That one's a little too wide, 1-1 to count.
Rocking the hair like you in college here.
Yeah, there we go.
As well.
Mine might have been a little wavier. .333, the team batting average on the year for the Jimmies. That pitch misses up, 2-1.
He's missed up with that slider a few times now.
Looks in, gets the signal from Grant. Logan down to one knee behind the plate to get that low target. Comebacker, McMahon with a nice play in self-defense. Underhand toss over to first base to Elsner. And the leadoff man in the second inning is retired.
Nice job fielding your position there. Always want to be able to help yourself out as a starting pitcher, those little dribblers back up the middle. Little heat on that one, but a play you should make as a pitcher.
Now batting the left fielder, number 8, Julian Romero.
7-hole hitter, the left fielder, Julian Romero. Romero stayed with that long fly ball hit by Elsner in the last half inning to make the catch. His first swing of the bat today, he'll keep it as that one goes wide.
Yeah, Romero started climbing that fence like he thought that ball was gone too. Kind of came back down. Oh, I got to step in front of the wall here. Okay.
Yeah, he kind of fooled both of us with that action. Ground ball, Gravel moving to the second base bag. Will field it, throw it in time. 4-3 on the play.
Yeah, much more efficient here from McMahon this inning than the last. Just pounding that strike zone, getting that slider inside on the hands of Romero there after, getting one away to Roebuck and both ground balls to the right side. Quick 1-2 to start the inning.
First two guys reached on singles in the last inning, so this a better start, as you said. Here's the shortstop, Landon Runge. First pitch from McMahon, a fastball called strike, inner half.
Love that pitch. Runs right on top of the plate, just really towing that inside chalk line, and McMahon not afraid to throw that one right on the inside corner. That really helps set up that tight slider on the outer half as well.
If Runge would have swung, it would just be a jam job. That one's hit well to the right field side. That'll drop in front of Anthony Lind. Lind thought about throwing to first base to possibly try to get it out there, but Runge hustling down the line. His single keeps the inning alive for the 9-hole hitter, third baseman, Ricky Okamoto.
Okamoto at 283 on the year. Only slugs it at 358, so not much of a power threat.
Now batting the third baseman, number
It'll clear the 9-hole spot. Quick throw over to first base. Runge gets back easily.
Runge only 3 of 4 on the season, stolen bases, so efficient when he goes, but doesn't go very often.
Again, the throw. The Jimmy's a pretty good running team. They have 100 stolen bases on the season, so they're not afraid to run as opposed to the Bruins, only 59. Up and away, ball one.
We did see in their first stolen base attempt, too, though, gunned down with relative ease, so we'll see if that gives them any pause the rest of the way here.
Quite a few left-handed bats in this Jamestown lineup, facing the right-hander Parker McMahon. Swing and a miss, good pop on that fastball from the senior out of Bozeman, Montana.
Yeah, a little life on that one, too, like a little tail away from the left-handed Okamoto.
Again, McMahon looks in. This is Parker's third season as a Bellevue Bruin. Fastball right down the heart of the plate.
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking for there.
In his previous 2 years at Bellevue, Parker was 6-4 combined, mostly working in relief. He's been a starter this 25 season. And maybe just a little glimpse of the sun peeking out overhead. Throw back to first base, runner back in time. Temperature expected to get up to around 60 degrees today, so not warm but not cold. Cloudy and cool day thus far. Okamoto awaits. Down the third base line, but just foul. Scott Hansen watches that one go by into the corner. Count remains 1-2.
Yeah, a little late on that inside half fastball there, but did a good job. Kept that inside the bag. It's probably 2 bases for him. McMahon is a good strikeout pitcher. He has 66 strikeouts on the season now. Definitely going to try to, I'd say, bounce a slider in here, take care of Okamoto.
The set and the pitch. That one's fouled over the top of the netting and out of play.
Was a breaking ball. Another one he left a little higher than he was looking for. Logan Grant was asking for that ball down in the dirt and had to pop that mitt back up. Lucky it didn't do any damage, but lived to fight another day.
A long look this time. Throw over to first base. Keeping the runner Runge honest over there. Here's the 1-2 pitch once again. Hit in the air to right center field. Anthony Lynn on his horse, but he won't be able to get there. Has to play it off the long hop. The throw will go into second base, so back-to-back singles, first by Runge, now by Okamoto. Put runners at first and third with 2 out. That's the 5th single of the game thus far for Jamestown in the first inning and 2/3.
Yeah, that one just off the end of the bat enough to hold up in the air. Lynn couldn't quite get there. Not a ball you want to dive for if it gets past you. That's a run and another guy in scoring position. But it's the top of the order now for the Jimmies with Chase Burke.
Second time through the order here for Burke. Singled his first time up, but then was thrown out attempting to steal. Breaking ball, low and away. Pretty nice crowd on hand today for a cool Friday afternoon, including a nice group of Jamestown Jimmy fans making their way down from North Dakota. Jamestown located in east central North Dakota. That throw to first base had a little more pepper on it.
Okamoto 6 of 6 stolen bases on the year, so he can move it a little bit over there and does so efficiently. Not a huge lead.
Burke with 22 runs batted in. That night breaking ball is located nicely on the outer half.
A little more arc to it, a little bigger breaker than that tight slider we've been seeing from McMahon.
Yeah, pitchers at this level, you're probably going to have an arsenal that includes a couple of different fastballs, a couple of different breaking balls, change up. Grant sitting up on the outer half of the plate. That's where McMahon puts it. Foul out of play by Burke. Nice carom off the netting by Logan.
Hopping around back there.
Yeah, he's played here for 3 years. He knows how to play those caroms off the net.
Sure.
You may have been able to see that little white antenna hanging down from the ear of Logan Grant. He gets his signals electronically from pitching coach Sean McMahon, then relays them out. Sean Malley, I'm sorry, put Sean's and Parker's names together there. Pitching coach Sean Malley and pitcher Parker McMahon. That one's fouled.
McMahon went back to that tighter breaking ball there on that outer half. He's really peppered these right-handed hitters with that slider away, that bigger breaking ball away. He's come inside a couple times effectively. I'd love to see that again here.
That one misses low, but it was the fastball. Count goes to 2-2. We got 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 1-0 our score in the top of the second inning. The Jimmies of Jamestown University and the Bruins of Bellevue University. Breaking ball. That one got the outside corner. Strike 3 called. The second strikeout of the game for pitcher Parker McMahon. No runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 left on base. The Jimmies have left 3 through the first 2 times at the plate. Our score remains Jamestown 1 and Bellevue 0. Final weekend of the regular season for these teams in the North Star Athletic Association. The conference tournament begins on May 2nd. May 2nd through the 5th in Dickinson State, North Dakota. Dickinson, North Dakota in the western half of the state. Jamestown in the east central part. About halfway between Fargo and Bismarck. A little North Dakota geography for you this afternoon on the Bruins Sports Network. The Bruins were retired in order in the bottom of the first inning. It'll be Lacey, Macaris, and Tanner, the first 3 scheduled hitters, against Avery Leisman. Mick and Mick being into the broadcast this afternoon, father and son. I'm the 3rd in the line of 5 MJ Krupskis. You're the 4th, and son MJ is the 5th, so.
Nice and confusing.
That's right. Keeping you guessing out there. Again, that text message number, if you want to join us for today's broadcast, 402-515-7654. Thanks for helping out today, Mick. Appreciate it. Here's center fielder Jake Lacey leading things off for the Bruins in the bottom of the second inning.
The center fielder, number 21, Jake Lacey.
Lacey at 354, good for 3rd on the Bruins batting average this year.
And Jake's one of those guys who has really feasted on conference pitching. batting .472 in North Star play.
Little drag bunt attempt there to catch the third baseman back. Not something you see a ton out of your four-hole hitter.
Jake's more of a gap-to-gap type hitter. More doubles than home runs on the season. I guess you can say that for a lot of guys. That one's fouled away right side up near my old house on W Street.
Yeah, Lacey, 6 home runs, but leads the Bruins with 16 doubles on the season. Also 9 stolen bases, so probably a little more speed than your typical cleanup man.
He, too, in his 3rd year as a Bellevue Bruin. Little nubber off the end of the bat. Fielded over there in the on-deck circle by Aiden Macaris.
Yeah, that looked like it was right off the very end of the bat there. Just a little out ahead of that little breaker. Leisman's been changing speeds well.
Working from the first base side of the rubber. Shakes off the first signal, now goes to work. Another breaking ball, that one misses low, 1-2.
Good waist pitch there, though. We've seen him not be afraid to work that inside corner as well. A lot of these Bruins right up on the inside. Lacey not as much.
Lacey awaits. Lays off that pitch just off the outside edge. Catcher Tristan Madison wanted the call on that one. He was already kind of coming out of his crouch to throw it around the infield, but didn't get it.
Don't think he helped his pitcher by doing that either. He framed that, you might get that call.
Yeah, he was jumping out. That sometimes obstructs the view of the home plate umpire. Here's the 2-2 pitch, another breaking ball. And again, down low. Count runs full on Lacey.
Yeah, Lacey worked it all the way back to a full count here.
Payoff pitch upcoming from the arm of Avery Leistman. Inside, it stays coming, running inside underneath the hands, and Lacey will draw the walk. Good example there where that right-handed fastball tailing in on the right-handed batter started off near the zone, but then tailed off.
Yeah, 20th walk of the season for Lacey. Leadoff man on base for the Bruins. They got something cooking here for Macaris.
Aiden Macaris, the Bruins DH, has also seen some time at first base this year when Steven Elsner was injured. Those two exchange spots between first base and DH. Hello to Aiden's brother listening in up in Jamestown. Thanks for that earlier text. Has a big swing but comes up empty on that fastball.
Yeah, looking for that home run mentioned in the text message there with the big hack at that first pitch fastball. Lacey can run over there at first base too. Mentioned 9 of 10 stolen bases on the year, second on the team.
Aiden has had 11 home runs in 33 games for the Bruins.
Big lead over there from Lacey. Probably a good idea for Leisman to check over. Macaris not probably the type of guy to little ground ball behind the runner to advance him here. He's trying to do some damage.
Yeah, takes that one off the backside. And the Bruins have their first 2 men on here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. A walk and a hit by pitch will set it up for left fielder Elijah Tanner. Let's see if Dwayne Modlux is thinking sacrifice bunt in this situation.
Yeah, Tanner at 311 on the year, so he definitely can swing it, but great opportunity here to advance both of these runners with a sac bunt.
Jimmy's play their corner infielders in a little bit in front of the baseline. Leistman comes set. The bat pulled back, ball 1 call. Good job by Tanner to get the bat back out of the zone on the pitch up above the strike zone.
Yeah, hardest pitch to bunt's the high fastball. That's one you don't want any piece of. Even if that's a strike, you want to, top of the zone. That's not one you want to try to bunt, especially with no strikes.
Again, the corner infielders in. Middle infielders kind of playing at double play depth.
And with Leisman struggling to find the zone a little bit here, first 2 hitters, you can be patient and get a good one to put the bat on.
Again, Elijah shows bunt. The step off. First disengagement in this at-bat for Avery Leistman.
Three sacrifices on the year for Tanner. Trying to put this one down the third baseline if he squares again.
Elijah, the 6-hole hitter for the Bruins, puts that one down nicely out in front of the plate. The catcher will come out to make the play to first. In time, Elijah Tanner retired 2-4 on the play, but Elijah gets the job done. The sacrifice bunt moves Jake Lacey to third and Aiden Macaris to second.
Perfect bunt. Just deadened that one right off the end of the bat. Stayed right in that dark area in front of the plate. No play but to first base, and even that was just by a step or so.
Bruins have had some difficulties bunting at times this season, but that was perfectly done by Tanner. Here's the Bruins right fielder, Anthony Lynn, with runners at second and third. Jimmy's will pay the middle infielders back in regular position.
Lynn 34 RBIs on the season, trying to add to that total.
Sweeping breaking ball misses away.
Leisman continues having a little trouble finding that zone. Walking a hit by pitch. First pitch way out of the zone to Tanner. That one way out of the zone to Lynn. You got to be very patient, get a good one to hit here, especially working ahead in the count.
A little number might be trouble. Pitcher Leisman, however, goes off the backside of the mound, and he uses his 6'4" frame to reach up and make the catch. No, not what the Bruins wanted in that situation, so now with 2 on and 2 out, it'll be up to second baseman Nick Gravel to try to knock in some teammates.
I think you're looking for a little better contact. You want to know with 2 guys in scoring position, but still alive here for Gravel.
Gravel, another one of those guys that have hit much better in conference play. 387 in North Star competition for Nick. First pitch, top of the zone, called strike 1.
Nick hitting 257 on the year. He's got 9 RBIs. He'd love to get that total into double digits with a little base knock here.
257 versus 387 in conference play.
Hot bat, good guy to have up. And with that wind blowing in from left field, not a bad idea to have a lefty up here.
That one's hit. Nice backhanded stab by the second baseman. And the Jimmies escaped the inning without giving up a run on that nice defensive play by Alex Alva to rob Gravel of a base hit and to rob the Bruins of any runs. 4-3 on that play for the Bruins. No runs on no hits. There were no errors and 2 men left on base. Inning started out with a promise, but ended with a 0. After 2 complete innings of play, the University of Jamestown Jimmies won, and the Bellevue University Bruins nothing. Again, game number 1 of these conference doubleheaders are 7-inning contests. Game number 2 are 9-inning affairs, so always have to keep that in the back of your mind as 2 innings in the book. Let's turn our attention to some messages here. The Montana McMahons are watching and cheering on the Bruins, and Parker as well. We knew you guys would be listening. Thanks for sending along a text today. Russell Buckmaster, our Alaska fan club, now listening to the greatest announcer. Thank you, Russell. Appreciate it, Buck. Thanks again for tuning in on the Bruins Sports Network. It's a balmy 72 degrees in my office today. Thank you very much for sending that along. Howdy, Mick and Mick. Go Bruins, go from Hamilton, Ontario. Glad to hear I have one son watching while the other is playing. Let's go, Aiden from Papa Mac. All right, we've got all kinds of Macaris family members joining us today, live and on the network. Let's get ready for the top of the 3rd inning. Leading it off is the 2-hole hitter, second baseman Alex Alva, who just made that great defensive play to keep the Bruins off the board thus far.
Yeah, sparkling defensive play out there, ranging all the way into the outfield on this turf. Picking it off the hop, making the play.
Alva scored the first run of today's game, hits that one on the ground. Now it's Nick Gravel to turn the tables as he makes a spectacular defensive play to rob Alva of a hit.
Those second basemen got to stop hitting it at each other.
Wow, second basemen are showing some leather this afternoon.
Yeah, back-to-back web gems from the 4 position.
And as you mentioned, too, both of them play very deep on this field turf because the ball's going to scoot, and it's a little bit wet, so it's going to scoot even quicker today.
Yeah, ball really gets on you on this stuff. Playing third base in college, I hated playing on the field turf infield. You get about 1 hop, and you better hope it's a good one because it's getting on you.
Protect your face. Here's Ryan Muzalar, first baseman, strikeout victim his first time up. Missing inside, 1-1 to count.
Yeah, back to that inside corner, trying to back him off the plate a little bit. Love that approach from McMahon.
Changing speeds, changing spots. Kind of the formula for any successful pitcher. Breaking ball misses away, 2-1.
Similar look on that breaking ball to the one that Muzalar swung through his first time up. I'm sure McMahon remembers that as well. Went back to it.
Little chopper over the mound. Gravel will be the only Bruin to make a chance at a play, but can't get there in time to get it done. An infield single for Ryan Muzalar. It's just one of those choppers that was not hit well, but it was well placed.
Yeah, just over top of the pitcher. Gravel did his best, gloved it through it, just a step late to try to get Muzalar. Yeah, not hit well, really off the thumbs there, but perfectly placed over the head of McMahon.
So the 6th hit of the afternoon for Jimmy batters to this point. Here's the 4-hole hitter, the DH, Jordan Singleton. He had the single and RBI to put the Jimmies on the board in the top of the 1st inning.
And he went opposite field with it. Let's see if that is the approach again from Singleton as he takes strike 1.
And it was on the outside edge.
Really the only pull side hit that the Jimmies have had today was the little kind of Texas leaguer from Akamoto in the right field.
The 0-1 showing bunt with 2 strikes, trying to catch the Bruins off guard. McMahon with a barehanded pickup gets it to first base in time.
That was a great bunt. You don't expect that out of a 4-hole. Certainly caught the Bruins a little off guard. McMahon did a great job hopping off the mound, called off the third baseman, made the play, and got Singleton by a step.
Well, we've seen a bevy of beautiful defensive plays here this afternoon, including that one, 2 in this inning. That one by McMahon, the previous one by Gravel. The runner advancing to second on the play with 2 outs. Now the catcher, Tristan Madison.
Second time McMahon's helped himself out with a nice play today as well.
Swing and a miss as he chases a high fastball.
Yeah, that one just straight past Madison. A little extra gear, a little amped up, getting the arms and legs moving, making that defensive play. Reach back for a little extra cheese there.
McMahon in the upper 80s to around 90 miles per hour, on his fastball.
90 degrees sounds nice.
Yeah. Comebacker through the middle. Again, Gravel's going to have to try to make a nice play, and Nick does. Nick Gravel with 3 assists already on the afternoon and 1 putout as the Bruins leave a runner stranded once again. No runs on 1 hit. There are no errors and 1 man left on base. Now 4 left on base for the Jimmies through their first 3 innings of play. As we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, it'll be the 9-1-2 part of the Bellevue Bruin lineup. Couple more texts in the queue. Watching our Jimmies in Southern California. Let's go, Landon Runge. Glad you guys are joining us today on the Bellevue Bruin Sports Network. 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow as well. Tomorrow's doubleheader starting at 12 noon Central Time. Watching the Bruins from Wyoming. Get the win, Bruins. Wyoming, that's got to be Jake Lacey's family listening up in Gillette, Wyoming. Also the hometown of Bellevue head coach Dwayne Monlex as he runs past the broadcast position to his third base coaching box. Let's give our coaches salute right now, shall we? Dwayne Monlex, the Bruins head coach, now in his 15th season. Associate head coach Mitch Schmidt, 19 years as a Bruin. Pitching coach Sean Malley, 18 years. Assistant coach Richie Moore in his 15th season. And then there's the new guy, assistant coach Drew Nielsen, his first year with the Bellevue program. Across the way in the other dugout, Tom Hager, 26 years as the head coach for the University of Jamestown. He's got a whole crew of assistant coaches as well. Ryan Iliff, Elias Sablin, Michael Smith, Aaron Pugh, Adrian Alvarez, and Eric Evans. And we'll give a salute to our college coaches, Elmer Casa from St. Mary's University in San Antonio, Texas, and Jim Bovey from Hastings College back in your day, right?
The Bruins shortstop, number 7, C.J. Townsend.
9-hole hitter C.J. Townsend will start things off for the Bruin. The Bellevue shortstop, his mom and dad in attendance, sitting on the bleachers on the first base side of the field, wishing for C.J. to do well. First pitch from right-hander Avery Leastman is low.
Townsend at .240 on the season with a .319 on-base percentage, hitting out of the 9-hole.
Down low once again. CJ hit right around the 300 mark last year. This year his batting average has been lower, as you just mentioned, so trying to find some magic here in the final weekend of the conference regular season.
Yeah, .302, .430 on base last season and slugged over 400.
Lays off the high fastball, so gets ahead in the count 3-0. Let's see if CJ will probably take a pitch or two here.
Yeah, Leisman continuing to have a little trouble finding the zone here. I mean, 9-hole guy, somebody you want to go right at, and he's dancing around both the top and bottom of the zone.
And misses down low once again, so a 4-pitch walk. Gets the inning started on a positive note for the Bruins as Townsend down to first base, and Scott Henson will step to the plate. His second look at Avery Leistman.
And second inning in a row that the Bruins have started off with a leadoff walk.
Henson, a strikeout victim, his first time up today. And helped the second inning in a row. The second batter's been hit by a pitch. So again, the Bruins off to a good start in the inning. Townsend down to second base. Hanson to first. And that'll set things up for Steven Elsner.
And you love having two guys on for your leading hitter on the season, Steven Elsner.
Elsner came just a Cheerio or two short of a home run his first time up. That long fly ball that maybe the wind kept in the park. But first, a meeting on the mound for the Jimmies and their coaching staff.
Yeah, and Elsner leading the team in average, tied for RBIs, leads the team in home runs. This is exactly who you want up if you're behind in this ball game and have two men on to start the inning. Leisman's got to be careful with him here, but he's had so much trouble finding the zone. You can't be too careful. Right. His base is loaded for the Bruin 3-hole.
And we've seen the Bruins bunt up and down the order on this season, but again, in this situation, probably not, because the Bruins' two main home run threats, Elsner and Grant, are the next two men in the order. So if you sacrifice here, it opens up first base, and then they can just go ahead and walk Logan Grant possibly as that. So trying to think ahead in the strategy here along with...
Yeah, I'd be shocked to see Elsner square around here. No sack bunts on the season.
But the Jimmies will play their corner infielders up in the baseline. Second baseman Alva trying to keep the runner close. So breaking ball swung on and missed by Elsner. Got a little fooled by that one. He was looking dead red. Instead, got the curve.
Yeah, a little out in front of that breaking ball. Not what you're looking for first pitch, trying to do damage.
Second year Bellevue player out of San Francisco, California. But he does show bunt, but bunts it foul back to the net.
That looked more like a drag bunt than as he...
Yeah, trying to push it up the first base line. But
yes, squared very late, almost like he was trying to bunt more for a hit, I'm sure, hoping to advance the runners as well, but now in an 0-2 hole here.
So now we'll have to go into protect mode at the plate, anything in and around the zone.
Big gap right side of the field, too. Would love to see him stay on this ball and just shoot one into the right center field gap.
Catcher sets up, outer half. Leisman delivers, chopper up the third base side. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. But it just rolls foul. Good decision there by third baseman Ricky Akamoto to let that one roll.
Yeah, it looked for a long time like it may stay inside that chalk line.
But just a little bit wide. So Steve will have to take that long trek back to home plate to continue his at-bat. Count remains at 0-2.
Yeah, another pitch on the outside. They have not really come inside to Elsner at all. I'm sure trying to stay away from the big man's power.
Wind continuing to blow from left to right now. It looks like it's blowing a little bit more out of the northwest than straight north. So from the left field side toward the right field side, but still not in favor of the right-handed batters.
Big gap, though, in this Jimmy defense on that right side.
Leistman readies for the pitch. Instead, he'll look the runner back to second base. That disengagement.
Jamestown catcher Madison, he was set up away again, kind of low, probably another breaking ball.
Have a pitch or two to see if Elsner will chase.
0-2, you do not want to give him anything he can do damage with.
Fouled at the plate, off the body of the catcher Madison.
Just got a piece of that one. Staying alive. Couple of those now. Build that confidence in Elsner. Hopefully get the bat on one, keep one in play.
Steven awaits, just kind of relaxed at home plate, holding that bat loosely in his fingers. He's ready. Leistman is ready. Up and away, 1-2 the count.
Good waste pitch there. See if he'll try to chase through it. Good patience from Elsner. Longer the at-bat goes on, the more confidence you get. You're seeing more offerings from Leistman. Getting more comfortable in that box. Knows he not coming inside. Maybe change that approach a little bit. Try to shoot something the other way.
Again, a breaking ball, missing low and away.
And again, great patience from Elsner.
Good job by Madison to block that one up.
Yeah, good speed on the bases here for the Bruins as well with Hansen and Townsend.
Action in the Jamestown bullpen. Right-hander throwing down that way. But right now it's the matter for Avery Leistman.
And these pitches starting to pile up for Leistman as he's gone deeper into counts with a lot of these Bruin hitters.
Fastball up and away, so the count will go full. 2 on, nobody out in this inning. An opportunity for the Bruins.
Yeah, look
trailing 1-0.
Look at Elsner in the box. He is ready to roll. He's kind of little giddy up in his step there. He knows that Leistman's probably got to come with a heater here again. He doesn't want to walk him. Elsner's probably sitting dead red trying to drive something.
The pitch. Chopped on the ground to short. Chance for a double play ball. Bobbled momentarily. Throw to first base is not in time. Had a chance for the double play, but they'll get the middle runner on the 6-4 put out of Scott Hansen. Elsner reaching on the fielder's choice, and C.J. Townsend advancing to third on the play.
Yeah, actually did go back to the breaking ball there.
Yeah, Steven just got a little bit on top of it, grounded it to shortstop, 2-hopper there, but that little bit of a bobble may have taken the Jimmy's opportunity to turn a double play away.
Elsner busting it out of the box as well.
Here's the Bruin catcher, Logan Grant. Logan, a pop-up victim his first time up. He and Elsner, the team leaders and the conference leaders in runs batted in with 52 on the season. First pitch fastball upstairs. And now 2 guys throwing in the Jamestown bullpen.
Yeah, Leistman he's having trouble spotting that fastball. He's missed up more and more as this game's gone on. Saw it there, went back to the breaking ball to Elsner and a fastball count on 3-2.
And that one misses low. 2-0, hitter's advantage here for Logan Grant. If he sees a pitch he likes, he's going to come out of his shoes with the swing.
Yeah, now's the time to do damage.
What do you have a pitch count for Leistman? 39 pitches thrown. 20 balls and 19 strikes, so 50-50 percentage there.
That's not what you're looking for.
Logan Grant goes opposite field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Good base running at third by Townsend to wait to make sure that was going to drop. And an RBI single by Logan Grant puts him at first base as Steven Elsner to second, and then we'll have a courtesy runner. Jalen Ruffin will come in to courtesy run for the Bruins.
Yeah, it's a great piece of hitting there from Grant. He got a little spinner on the outside corner, didn't try to pull it, didn't try to do too much, just serve that ball into left field, score that run, and tie this ball game up at 1.
So Logan now takes over the lead. It was a 3-way tie for the top of the RBI category in North Star Athletic Association play. Logan now with 53 runs batted in on the year. Very similar to what Jordan Singleton did in his at-bat to put the Jimmies on the board.
Yeah, that's been the key today. All these singles except for one have been guys taking the ball to the opposite field.
Jake Lacey, the Bruin batter, takes a fastball for a called strike 1.
Walk his first time up for Lacey.
Jake, no slouch in the RBI category either. He has 40 runs batted in on the year. Breaking ball fouled back. Now 0-2 advantage for Avery Leistman on the hill.
Last 0-2 count he had was Elsner. Elsner worked it all the way back to a full count. So Lacey can be patient here.
Jake with that slightly open stance to start. Catcher sets up outer half once again and fouled out of play.
That was one to hit there, too. I don't think Leistman wanted to leave that ball as over the middle of the plate as it was.
1-1 our score. 1 run on 6 hits for Jamestown. 1 run on 1 hit for the Bellevue Bruins. That RBI single by Logan Grant.
Plenty of base runners for the Bruins, though. Just been via the walk and the hit by pitch more than the actual hits for them today.
That's right. 1-2 now the count on Lacey as he lays off that sweeper outside. Long look at head coach Dwayne Monlix. 2 on, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the third inning of this scheduled 7-inning contest. Line hard and through the middle. Elsner had to wait to make sure that one got through and to avoid getting hit by that line drive off the bat of Jake Lacey. So the second hit of the game for the Bruins loads the bases. Elsner at third, Ruffin at second, and Lacey at first for Aiden Macaris, the Bruins DH.
Great piece of hitting from Lacey. Got another breaking ball in the lower outside half. Just went right back through the box with it. Got the barrel on that ball. Sacks are packed with Bruins.
Oh, a chance for a crooked number in this bottom of the third inning for Aiden Macaris.
Macaris was hit by a pitch in the first time, his first time up.
First baseman Muzalar inside the baseline. Other infielders pretty much at regular depth as that pitch misses low.
Macaris 318 on the season, 28 runs batted in, looking to add to that total. Does have 11 home runs.
Wind picking up just a little bit more. Steady at around 10 to 15 miles an hour, maybe blowing a little bit more now. That one fouled out of play. Opposite way by Aiden. From Nebraska to North Dakota to Ontario. A lot of people in the Macaris family joining us today. Again, a pretty good hole between first and second. If Aiden would shoot something outer half that direction.
And that's where Leisman stayed with almost the entirety of his offerings.
Another step off by Leistman. Now he's back to work. Coming set at the shoulders. Breaking ball, swing and a miss.
Good pitch from Leisman. That was that one that looked more like a little knuckle curve. Bottom just kind of falls out of that one at the end. Macaris swung right over the top of it.
Yeah, you know Aiden, gritting up on the bat here. He wants to put the ball into play. So if you can spoil that timing, you're going to have some success as with that last pitch. Fastball up and away, 2-2.
Yeah, he's continued to have a lot of trouble spotting that fastball, so would be shocked if we don't see another breaker here, 2-2. Honestly, even if it goes to 3-2, wouldn't be shocked to see a breaking ball as well, as it was with Elsner in a 3-2 count.
Again, the set. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. The fastball gets by Macaris for the second out of the inning. Second strikeout of the game for Avery Leistman.
Yeah, Leistman actually just reached back, a little extra gas on that one. Pretty much right down the middle, just got it right past Macaris.
So it'll be up to left fielder Elijah Tanner. A sacrifice bunt, his first time up today. Again, bases full of Bruins. Elsner, Ruffin, and Lacey on the bags from third to first. Fastball on the knees, strike one called.
Yeah, getting at least one more here I think is important for the Bruins offense. As we said, quite a few base runners, only 2 hits. Would love with a big opportunity here to at least squeeze one run, at least take the lead for your starting pitcher.
Bruins left 2 on last inning. They sure don't want to leave 3 on in this one. That pitch misses low, 1-1.
Especially as this wind continues to pick up and blow almost more straight in from center field. It's going to be hard to drive that ball out of the ballpark if that continues, so nice opportunity here for Tanner.
Yeah, Bruins will be happy with a single or a double.
And 38 runs batted in on the year for Tanner, so he knows how to bring the runs in.
Down low again, 2-1.
At least been laboring a little more, taking a little more time in between pitches. He stepped off a couple times now. If you're Elijah Tanner at the plate, you probably keying into that well, feel a little more at ease in the box.
That one's hit foul out of play right side. Count evens up at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out.
Deuces are wild. That was a good swing, though, from Tanner. Looked like he was trying to drive that ball the other way on that pitch on the outer half. Just a little late with his hands. Love that approach, though, especially here. As we've mentioned, Leisman not really taking advantage of the inside part of the plate. Tanner right on that inside half. Leisman went to the fastball last time with 2 strikes. We'll see if he goes back to that or that big breaker he's been throwing.
It's the breaking ball hitting the air to the right side. First baseman Muzalar in foul territory will reach up and make the catch. So the Bruins leave him loaded. 1 run comes in, but the base is loaded. An opportunity lost. 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors and 3 left on base. After 3 complete, we're tied. The Bruins won and the Jimmies won in this battle between the top 2 teams in the North Star Athletic Association. Well, so far it's been kind of a left on base for both teams. For the Jimmies, 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. And for the Bellevue Bruins, none in the first, but 2 in the second, 3 in the third. So opportunities lost for both teams as we get back to the action heading into the top of the 4th. Again, if you'd like to join us this afternoon on the Bruins Sports Network, our text message number 402-515-7654. Want to do a couple of innings?
Sure.
All right, taking over with the play-by-play duties for the top of the 4th inning is Mick Krupski, replacing Mick Krupski.
Parker McMahon back out to the mound for the Bruins to start his 4th inning of work. Be 6, 7, 8, 9 due up for the Jimmies here, leading off Isaiah Roebuck. First pitch from McMahon, a fastball right down the heart. Gets ahead of Roebuck, 0-1.
McMahon with that bend but don't break mentality. He's allowed 6 hits, but only 1 run.
A 1 pitch on the inside corner, quickly ahead 0-2 to Roebuck. Yes, defense helped him out, bail him out in the last inning. Working quickly ahead of Roebuck, who he got to ground right back to him the first time up. And not wasting any time, right by Roebuck on the inside corner for a swinging strikeout for McMahon in the first out of the inning.
Hopefully Parker's settling in a little bit better now. That pitch, just as you said, on the inside half. Not a whole lot that Roebuck could do on that swing.
Nope, didn't waste anything. Went right back to that inside corner for his 3rd strikeout of the game, and that will bring up Julian Romero, the left fielder for the Jimmies, and McMahon starts him out with a strike as well. Working quickly, working ahead, that's what you love to see if you're the Bruins. The 0-1 bounces in there for a ball. Romero grounded out to Gravel, the second baseman, his first time up. McMahon sets. And the 1-1 right on the low edge of that strike zone. Ahead of Romero, 1-2.
A strike machine in this 4th inning.
This is what you want to see if you're Dwayne Monlux and the Bruins. Working quickly, working ahead, dotting that strike zone. The 1-2 to Romero. Just kind of got the arm underneath that one, floats up and away. 2-2, evens up the count. 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning in a 1-1 ball game. McMahon throws a spinner in there, just foul down the first base line, fielded by Elsner.
These 2 teams have met 24 times prior to today's meeting. The Bruins owning a 2-1 advantage. Bruins with 16 wins, the Jimmies with 8 wins.
And the 2-2 from McMahon just missed on the inside corner there.
And Logan Grant really wanted that call.
Yeah, I think Logan Grant kind of asking him where that one missed.
Romero very tight, right on that inside chalk of the batter's box.
The 3-2 pitch from McMahon. And that one misses up and away for a walk to Romero. First walk of the ball game for McMahon. And the Jimmies have a base runner here in the top of the 4th, which will bring up
Number 6, Landon Runge.
Landon Runge, who singled his first time up.
Courtesy runner coming into the game for Jamestown for Romero, and that is number 32,
Running for the Jimmies at first base.
who is Ben Patton.
Patton, yes, wearing number 32. Patton, 3 of 4 in stolen bases on the season.
Home plate umpire Joe Cassidy signals up to the press box about the pinch runner coming in.
So 1-on-1 out for Landon Runge here. McMahon, as we mentioned, works exclusively out of the stretch, so very comfortable even with a man on base here. Throws over. Not particularly close, not a lot of heart in that throw over to first base there. Keep the runner close, especially the fresh legs in there of Ben Patton, who, as you mentioned, is courtesy running. Breaking ball right at the top of the zone in the outside corner there from McMahon to Runge. Runge right up on top of the chalk line of that inside part of the batter's box. As we've seen a lot of these Bruin and Jimmy's hitters today, trying to take away that inside corner from the pitcher. No balls, 1 strike. The pitch to Runge. Runner goes. That ball misses well outside. Throw down from Grant. He's got him.
Second time this afternoon, Bruin catcher Logan Grant has thrown out an attempted steal. That one right on one hop, right on the tag applied. And now we've got Dwayne Monlux coming out of the dugout talking with the first base umpire. Don't know if they're going to say interference on the play or what, but let's see what's happening here.
And that pitch was almost into the left-handed batter's box, so I don't know where interference would be. At least
the runner's
home
thrown
plate.
out anyway,
Yeah,
so that's.
Dwayne's unhappy about something over there, though.
And now Logan Grant talking with the home plate umpire. But no one has returned to second base, so we're assuming it's going to stand as a steal attempt thwarted by Logan Grant and Nick Gravel.
Yeah, Bruins unhappy about something there, but do get the caught stealing. So now 2 outs.
They called that a ball. Then how did...
As Runge fouls that one straight back into the netting. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the Jimmy shortstop, the 8-hole. Toes that inner box line, as we said. McMahon sets, fires. Fastball inner half grounded down to third. Booted there, booted again, picked up. And just gets Runge at first.
Scott Hansen, as you said, booted once, booted twice, but still picked it up with the bare hand and got it there just in time to retire Landon Runge.
Yeah, Hansen with a nice arm across the diamond to get Runge, and a little adventurous 1-2-3 inning, but only 3 batters faced by the Bruins.
And Ben Patton will stay in the ballgame to play left field for Julian Romero. As again, we're having conversations between umpires and coaches on the field. Not sure what this one is about either, but a chance for the coaches and the umpiring crew to get to know each other a little better.
Yeah, Logan Grant ran down the line there to back up the throw and looked like he was chatting with the umpires again. Dwayne Monlux having a word with the umpires again. Some of the Jimmy coaching staff talking to the umpires down the third base line. So a lot of chatter going on out there.
And after all that, it's another trip to the mound for starting pitcher Avery Leastman. Leastman retired the Bruins in order in the bottom of the first inning, but after that, the next 2 innings, a lot of traffic on the bases. Let's see what the Bruins can mount in this bottom of the 4th inning.
Bruins will have 7, 8, 9. Lynn, Gravel, and Townsend due up here, bottom of the 4th. A lot of traffic on the bases for the Bruins, but have only been able to squeeze across 1 run this afternoon.
One more text in the queue comes from Bill Sargent in Armour, South Dakota. He says that Coach Monlux coached his son Josh Sargent in North Dakota, And now my grandson, Grayson Sargent, plays for the Jimmies. So a lot of family connections there through the generations. Bill, thanks for sending that along. That's the kind of stuff we always like to talk about as we get ready for the bottom of the fourth inning of this 1-1 contest.
Anthony Lynn takes strike one from Leisman. Avery Leisman out there to start his fourth inning of work. We did see some action in the Jimmy's bullpen, which is pretty quiet right now to start the bottom of this fourth inning. The 0-1 is lined just past the diving shortstop into left field. Lynn a big round around first base, but he will stay put right there. And Anthony Lind with a solid single to left field to lead off the bottom of the fourth for the Bruins.
Third consecutive inning, the Bruins have had their leadoff man on. Let's see if they can put some more runs on the board.
Last two both were walks to start the inning, so maybe a little single here will change the Bruins' luck. Get a couple more than the one across. Leave a few less on base this time. This will be Nick Gravel standing in. Grounded out solidly to the second baseman his first time up as he slaps that one hard to third base. Hakamoto, the play, throws across the diamond, and they double up Lind at first.
A hard hit ball, a reaction play by the third baseman Nakamoto, and as a base runner, you got to freeze on a line drive, but Lind wandered a little bit too far trying to get that extra jump, and he's doubled off at first.
Second hard luck out for Nick Gravel today. That one was struck solidly on a line. Nakamoto didn't have to move to make that catch. First time up was a diving play. He was robbed by his counterpart, the other second baseman. This is C.J. Townsend taking a breaking ball on the inside corner for strike one.
An opportunity here now for Leisman to get out of the inning with not a lot of pitches thrown after that double play.
The 0-1 to Townsend. Big hopper. Nakamoto, little do-or-die play. Gloves it, throws. Very nice play for Ricky Nakamoto to retire the Bruins in order in the bottom of the fourth.
The score remains Bellevue 1, Jamestown 1.
4 innings in the book in this battle between the top two teams in the North Star Athletic Association. Again, the conference tournament begins on May 2nd in Dickinson State University. They'll be the host team for the tournament this year. Double elimination tournament. The 6 teams in the North Star Athletic Association will be joined by 2 of the schools that finish in the top in the California Pacific Conference. An unusual situation this year, but with both conferences having few teams, they combined them for the berths to get into the NAIA National Tournament. And looking way ahead, that will begin May 23rd, the NAIA Avista World Series in Lewiston, Idaho.
Parker McMahon back out there to start his 5th inning of work. He will face 9-1-2 in the Jimmy's order, and of course after the sparkling defensive plays from Ricky Nakamoto, he will lead off this top of the 5th inning for the Jamestown Jimmies.
Leading off the 5th for the Jimmies, the third baseman, number 7, Ricky Nakamoto.
Nakamoto singled off the end of the bat into right center field his first time up. And that one fouled away down the left field line. McMahon quickly ahead 0-1. The 0-1 misses just down. 1-1 count here to Nakamoto.
Cloudy and cool day in the Omaha Bellevue area. We started off at 52 degrees.
And McMahon dots the outside edge with a fastball there. He's quickly ahead 1-2.
And we're all the way up to 53 right now. So hour of play, we've added a degree of temperature.
Nakamoto, a little excuse me liner out to the shortstop Townsend. And one away.
Nakamoto just trying to protect the outside part of the plate. Just got it right off the end of the bat.
Yep, he lets that one go by. He's down looking, got to swing it, but harmlessly lines out to the Bruin shortstop, which brings the Jimmies back to the top of the order with Chase Burke.
So McMahon again retires the leadoff man in the inning. He's done that in each of the last 4 innings. The only time he didn't get the leadoff guy was in the first when the Jimmies scored their run.
Yeah, that usually leads to success. Does fall behind here, 1-0. This one by Burke is popped down the right field line. Will that stay in play? Just into foul territory. That one put away by Lind, the Bellevue right fielder. And McMahon quickly 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 5th inning.
Well, we mentioned a chance for Leisman in the last half inning. Get out of an inning with few pitches. An opportunity for Parker McMahon here to do the same in the top of the 5th.
Bruins have to love that. As Alex Alva steps up to the plate, 1 for 2 today. McMahon comes, sets, and fires. Ground ball right back to him, makes the play, gloves it, and he will underhand flip to the first baseman, Elsner. And Parker McMahon puts the Jimmies down in order, 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th inning.
Second time today, Parker has fielded those comebackers and gotten the job done. We're still 1-1, looking for some offense for the Bruins bats as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
And Bruins will send the top of their order up to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th inning, as we see Avery Leisman meander back out to the hill for his 5th inning of work. He's had his troubles finding the zone in this game, but really righted the ship in the last inning with a 1-2-3 inning after stranding the bases loaded in the bottom of the 3rd. Dealing with the top of the Bruins order here, as we said, with Scott Hansen. Hansen 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. We'll try to set the Bruins up with their leadoff man in this 5th inning.
Four-game set between these two teams today and tomorrow. Doubleheader today, doubleheader tomorrow begins at 12 noon Central Time. Come on back and join us for that as well. But right now, the matter is at hand is today. Game number 1. Bruins 1 game, 1 win in this weekend. They win the conference title outright. If the Jimmies can somehow find a way to get a 4-game sweep, they would tie the Bruins for the co-championship of the league.
A tall ask, but doable. Scott Hansen, the 3rd baseman, will lead off for the Bruins here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Leisman sets and fires and dots the top of the zone with a fastball for strike 1. As we said, Hansen 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch in today's contest. The 0-1 skips in there, evens up the count. Hansen came into the contest batting .349. The 1-1 hit hard on the ground, right to the shortstop who gloves, fires, and Hansen is retired, the first batter of the inning.
And that's the first time since the 2nd inning that the Jimmies have retired the leadoff man in the Bruins offense.
Yeah, the first inning, the only time that Avery Leisman has retired the leadoff man. Here's Steven Elsner, 0 for 2 with a flyout and a fielder's choice on the day. First time up, put a charge into one that came about 3 feet short of a home run to left field. Breaking ball from Leisman just misses low to Elsner. Ahead in the count, 1-0. Another breaking ball, big swing from Elsner, got that one off the end of the bat a little bit into right center field, and that one just caught. That had a little more carry on it than I originally expected, as Roebuck puts that away right near the light stanchion in right center field, about 2 steps from the wall.
His first big blast got knocked down by the wind. That one was helped a little bit by the wind, pushing it deeper towards right center field. And so 2 warning track towers for outs by Steven Elsner today.
Even Elsner didn't really react like he thought he got that one, and that just kept carrying and carrying and carrying, and Roebuck did a good job staying with it for the putout. The first pitch to Logan Grant misses low for a ball.
Logan might be the beneficiary of the wind here if he gets able to something to pull to the right side.
He did there, but he fouls it off to even up the count at 1-1. And even on these left-handed batters, the Jimmies have been running their center fielder into the gap in left center. They've really opened up that big right center field gap towards that scoreboard here at John Stella Field. The 1-1 to Grant is a fastball outside. He takes it that way to left field. That one will fall right in front of the wall as Logan Grant rounds first. And he slides into second base with a 2-out double.
Bellevue fans know that Logan Grant is not your prototypical slow-running catcher. He has good wheels, and he easily turns that opposite field hit into a double. So a 2-for-3 day thus far for Logan.
And a great piece of hitting there. Just took that ball where it was pitched, drove it into left field.
And courtesy runner Jalen Ruffin will come back in for the Bruins, so he's in scoring position with 2 outs.
Absolutely. And that will... that will bring up Jake Lacey here, the 4-hole hitter. Lacey singled his last time up and walked in his first plate appearance. It looks like coach coming to the mound here for the Jimmies.
Right-hander warming up in the Jamestown bullpen. Not sure if we're going to have a move here by Tom Hager or to give his bullpen a little extra time to loosen up down there.
You know, where was action earlier and then last inning as Leisman kind of breezed through. Not anything.
Pitch number? 68 pitches thrown by Avery Leisman, so still got something in the tank as he will continue on.
They will leave him in, didn't bring the hook with him. Maybe a little scouting report talk about Lacey, who, as we said, 1 for 1 with a walk today. Very dangerous hitter, came in batting .354, third on the Bruin roster. And he'll try to add to that 40 RBI total.
But won't get the opportunity.
No,
an intentional walk.
So second walk of the day for Lacey. And they will...
That'll put the onus on Aiden Macaris.
Yep, they'll add a force out here as they'll face Macaris. Macaris was hit by a pitch and then struck out in his last at bat. But he's got 2 on, 2 out here. Try to do some damage and squeeze home another run for the Bruins.
Aiden hitting .388 in conference play coming into today's action.
Outside fastball, Macaris, a good swing on it, just a touch late and fouls that one off down the right field line. Struck out on a fastball that was up his last at bat. Leisman got it by him. Went right back to it, gets out ahead, 0-1.
4th consecutive inning, the Bruins have had runners in scoring position. Only 1 run has crossed the plate thus far.
The 0-1. Breaking ball popped up into right center field. Roebuck coming in. Wynn playing tricks with that one and actually has to reach back over his shoulder and makes the putout to end the inning. So the Bruins strand 2 more runners in the bottom of the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th. We're tied at 1-1.
Both teams looking for that big hit to get more than that singleton on the board so far.
Yeah, Roebuck had a little bit of trouble on that one after making a nice play earlier in the inning in right center. Wynn must be whipping up above those trees. We kind of sit down in a bowl here, John Stella Field. Once that ball was hit a mile high, Wynn played a little tricks with it as it got up there.
Yeah, the wind's coming in from the north. They kind of circulate in here, as you mentioned. It sits in a bowl on 3 sides, to the right field side, to the behind home plate side, and the left field side. So when that wind comes in the north, it hits that back hill and just kind of circles around, as opposed to when it comes out of the south, it gives the ball a little extra boost in getting out of here. Parker McMahon back to the hill, continuing his effort. Parker's pitch count, Bill? 65 pitches for Parker through the first 5 innings, so that's a solid number. You want to try to keep your pitch tallies to around a dozen or so pitches per inning, so he's under that benchmark.
Been a little more efficient as well, only 1 walk, 3 strikeouts.
And he's retired 8 batters in a row.
Announcer Jinx, no, he's got it.
Jake Lacey coming on to make that catch off the bat of Ryan Musalar. One pitch, one out. We'll take that efficiency, huh?
Big one, too, as that was Ryan Musalar, the top hitter for the Jimmies.
Musalar 1 for 3 on the afternoon.
Came in batting .434. Strike one to Jordan Singleton, the DH for this afternoon's contest, as he will walk down the third base line and talk to his coach.
So Singleton, another big bat in this lineup. Not a real impressive batting average at .260 on the season, but he has the run batted in for the Jimmies today.
Yep, the lone RBI on a single in the first inning. Grounded back to the pitcher his last time up as he digs back into the box here. The 0-1 is low and outside for a ball. That one misses up and out. 2-1 now on Singleton.
Again, Parker McMahon doing a nice job of changing spots, changing speeds, trying to keep the Jimmy batters off balance.
That one hit hard to the shortstop. Little bobble there from Townsend and fires across to get Singleton in time.
CJ kind of got trapped in that middle hop there. You usually want to try to field the ball on a short hop or a long hop, but because it was hit so quickly to him, had to hold his ground and then did a nice job of knocking it down and then throwing it across the diamond for the second out of the inning.
On this field turf, too, that ball usually on the second hop kind of skids. It doesn't bounce as high or as true as natural grass or dirt, so got a tricky one there. Did a nice job staying with it as McMahon misses with a slider up to Tristan Madison.
Madison 0 for 2 thus far, a line out and a ground out. Both of those to second baseman Nick Gravel.
Nice tight slider there on the outer half to even up the count at 1-1.
More and more people coming into the ballpark as the day goes on. Bellevue students, maybe some of the other faculty members as well, taking an early Friday.
That ball lined into left field. Coming on to make the catch is Tanner, and that will send the Jimmies down in order. 1, 2, 3 in the top of the sixth inning.
Well, Parker McMahon is not allowed a hit since the top of the third inning. He's retired a whole bunch in order as he's found his groove on the mound. Let's see if the Bruin bats can find their groove at the plate. Let's find some runs in this bottom of the sixth inning, huh, Mick?
Yeah, Elijah Tanner, who just made that nice catch running grab out in left field, will lead it off for the Bruins as they send up 6, 7, 8. To face Avery Leisman, who comes back out to start another inning.
Bellevue has left 7 base runners during the course of this first 5 innings of today's game. Let's see if the Bruins' bottom half of the order can come through with another tally or 2 or more. It's been a good battle between these two big right-handed pitchers, Avery Leistman for the Jimmies and Parker McMahon for the Bruins.
Yeah, Leistman's made it interesting. Lot of runners on base, a lot of action, but he's pitched out of a ton of jams. Done a very nice job today. Really done well changing speeds. Had a few issues, a few too many walks, missed some spots, but I'm sure the Jimmies will take a tie ball game. Only 1 run allowed here going into the bottom of the 6th.
3 walks and 2 hit batters for Leishman, but he's been very effective. Only allowing the 1 run, the RBI hit by Logan Grant back in the 3rd inning. In other conference action today, besides this doubleheader between the Bruins and the Jimmies, Dickinson State will be taking on Valley City State, and Dakota State will be taking on Mayville State. Another action across the North Star.
Here's Elijah Tanner to lead off for the Bruins. 0 for 1 with a sacrifice on the day. Leisman sets fires. That ball is ripped right back up the middle. And a nice catch right there by Alva, the second baseman.
Second time today, Alva has made a real nice, third time today, excuse me, Alva has made a nice catch to rob Bellevue batters.
Yeah, Tanner unlucky there. That ball was hit right on the screws. Just Alva's been playing a little up towards the middle, was again there, and just made a nice running backhanded catch. So Anthony Lind will try to get the Bruins going with one down as he takes a breaking ball for a first pitch strike.
Let's see if this text is good luck. Let's get them bats hot, Bruins. The Williams family having a great day down in Belton, Missouri.
Lind squares, offers, and he's quickly down 0-2. Tried the drag bunt there. That ball was a breaking ball on the low outer half. Tough one to get the bat on and couldn't pull it back in time.
Anthony 1 for 2 on the day. A single his last time up.
Out ahead of that little change up there possibly from Leisman. Right off the end of the bat. A little nubber foul right into the on-deck circle.
What'd you say?
Lind probably just happy to get a piece and stay alive.
Fourth year in the Bellevue program for Anthony, the product of Omaha Central High School.
Takes one way out for a ball there. 1-2. Leisman shakes again, and into the windup, his 1-2 offering. Lind spoils another one foul down the right field line off the dugout roof over there. Over towards the Bruin bullpen. So Lind battling here, wasting some pitches from Leisman, who's into his motion and fires. Inside fastball turn, Akamoto falls down, gloves. One hop throw across is wild, and Lind reaches
On the infield single, according to Bill Mullins, the official scorer amongst his other duties.
Yeah, Akamoto lost his footing there right off the bat, gloved it, and didn't look sure-footed even when he threw that ball across, which took Musalar away from the base. So Lind reaches first. The Bruins have a base runner here for second baseman Nick Gravel, who's really hit the ball hard twice and has nothing to show for it.
Robbed first by Alva, robbed secondly by Akamoto.
Nice little push bunt down the left field line. Akamoto gloves, fires, just gets Gravel by a half step at first base. That's a really nice play by Ricky Akamoto at third base.
Credit for a sacrifice? Okay. Bill's still mulling over whether he's going to credit a sacrifice or a bunt attempt for a hit. As it looks like Dwayne Monlex will go to the bench for a pinch hitter. And it'll be number 25, Jordan Brandenburg, who has been red hot as a pinch hitter in conference play.
Yeah, Brandenburg, 355 average coming into this one. He does have 3 home runs.
And in his appearances in the North Star, he's been up with 6 at-bats and has delivered hits in 5 of the 6 at-bats. That translates to an .833 batting average in conference play for Jordan Brandenburg.
That any good?
That'll work. That'll work.
He'll take that one. And looks like the Jamestown coach going to come out and talk to his pitcher.
Well, the wheels are turning between the coaching staffs here.
Nobody warming with any urgency down in that bullpen, so probably a scouting report visit.
Yeah, there have been a couple of guys up at various times, but as of right now, nobody throwing, so it looks like Avery Leisman. All right, and so Bill says we will credit Gravel with the sacrifice bunt on that last at-bat. And just as we say, nobody moving with any urgency, the bullpen doors open, and Avery Leisman's day is done as we get a new pitcher coming in for the Jimmies. And it is number 1, right at the top of the roster, Ben Bowman.
Bowman, this will be his 15th appearance. Comes in with a sparkling 1.23 ERA in 22 innings pitched. Hitters only hitting .113 against Bowman on the season.
And a great strikeout to walk ratio, 33 strikeouts against only 9 walks, so an average of about 1.3 strikeouts per inning for Ben Bowman coming out of the pen.
Yep, Bowman's only given up 1 extra base hit on the season. He has 3 saves, which leads the Jimmies bullpen. So probably their top guy right here against the hot Bruin bat.
And you always want to try to win that first game of the series. You use all of your resources, or as many as needed. So top pitcher, top guy of the bullpen, trying to keep the Bruins and Jimmy's tied at 1. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning of this scheduled 7-inning contest.
And Leisman did his job. He got him through 5 2/3, only 1 run on 5 hits. Can't quite close the book on him yet, as there's still a runner out there at second base that he is responsible for.
So Jordan Brandenburg will be the Bruin batter that will be the first man to face Ben Bowman. Jordan with 13 runs batted in on the year. Well, the Bruins have had a couple of opportunities, in fact, in each of the last now 5 innings. They've had runners in scoring position, have only been able to plate 1 so far.
Yeah, they've only had 2 innings so far in the game where they haven't left a runner in scoring position to end the inning. As Bowman finishes his warm-up tosses and he's ready to go. Kind of a little cross-firing right-hander is Bowman. Good zip on that fastball, a little run coming out of his hand as well.
There we go. You hit me too.
All right, Brandenburg digs in here against Bowman. Bowman out of the stretch with the runner Lind on second. 2 down here.
Jordan, the senior out of San Carlos, California.
Little first pitch off speed on the inside corner for a strike.
Bellevue averaging 8.5 runs per game. Jamestown averaging 8.4 runs per game. And we're 1-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Ooh, uncommitted swing there from Brandenburg. And he's down 0-2. That one just kind of fell off the table.
Good movement down and across. Fooled Jordan, obviously. Still got a strike to save, but now he'll go into a defensive posture at the plate. Punch something through right side, Jordan.
And if I'm Bowman, I'm throwing that same pitch again. Sets, checks the runner back at second, and fires. Was a little breaking ball, little slider outside. Brandenburg fouls that one off out of play, spoils that offering from Bowman. Bowman, as you mentioned, he's a junior from Cheyenne, Wyoming, 6'1", 172.
Well, Jordan spoiled the last pitch. Let's see what the next offering is here from Bowman.
Still down 0-2.
Catcher Madison setting off the outside edge of the plate.
Looks back the runner, fires. That ball's ripped down the left field line and foul. That definitely would have plated the Bruin runner, and Brandenburg might have been coasting into second, but that one falls a good 10 feet foul down the left field line.
But Jordan doing a good job protecting the plate those last couple of swings.
Yep, staying alive.
He, too, very close to the inside part of that right-handed batter's box. Again, Madison sets up outside. The throw back to second base. Lind able to get back easily.
Dangerous play there. You can just as easily throw that one into center field and put the Bruins at third base one wild pitch away from a go-ahead run crossing the plate.
Anthony, the base runner. Anthony Lind, the base runner. Good speed.
Bowman sets, fires, and strikes out Brandenburg. So Ben Bowman comes in to put out the fire for the Jimmies in the bottom of the 6th inning as the Bruins strand another runner in scoring position. And we are still tied at 1 as we go to the top of the 7th.
Every at-bat becomes precious from this point on as the Jimmies and the Bruins looking for somebody to step up and deliver that big hit. Parker McMahon back to the mound for the Bellevue Bruins. Going to try to get the complete game, try to get the win. But first, the Bruins on defense. It's been a great string over the last basically 4 innings, excuse me. Only one hit and 1 walk over the last 4 innings for starter Parker McMahon as he tries to finish strong and give his team a chance to win it in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And C.J. Townsend looks like re-enters in at shortstop there for Brandon Berg. Jimmy's will have 6, 7, 8 due up here in the top of the 7th.
All right, nice job with the play-by-play. I'm going to steal it back from you if you don't mind, young man. So thanks for joining Mick and me on the broadcast this afternoon. First game of the doubleheader. Maybe one more inning, maybe more if we go into extras. 1-1 contest. The Jimmies getting their 1 run in the top of the 1st inning. The Bruins getting their 1 run in the bottom of the 3rd. An RBI by Jordan Singleton for the Jimmies. An RBI single by Logan Grant for the Bruins. Here's right fielder Isaiah Roebuck leading it off in the top of the 7th. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Breaking ball from Parker McMahon misses away.
Struck out on 3 pitches his last time up after grounding back to the pitcher in the 2nd inning.
Lined in the base hit in the left field through the hole. And Isaiah Roebuck picks up his first hit of the afternoon, leading it off in the top of the 7th inning. Jamestown fans on hand, clapping over that good start for the inning as left fielder Ben Patton steps in. Patton came on as a pinch runner, replacing Julian Romero. And betcha $1 to a donut, sacrifice bunt is on here. Third base coach running through a series of signs. Roebuck getting his lead at first. It's a short lead. Bunted right back up the box. Parker McMahon picks it up barehanded to throw to first baseman Steven Elsner is in time. The sacrifice bunt executed by Ben Patton, advancing Isaiah Roebuck to second.
Patton's 4th sack bunt of the season. Very well placed right in front, deadens it right in front of the mound. Only 1 play.
Next scheduled hitter is the shortstop, Landon Runge. But we may be seeing a pinch hitter come on for the Jimmies. And as soon as he turns around, we'll be able to tell you his
Runge, it looks like.
Okay, it is.
Taking his time approaching the box. Maybe a bit more pine tar or something for him.
A bit more pine tar or a special RBI bat or something, who knows. But it is Landon Runge. He's 1 for 2, a single and a ground out in his efforts today. Corners pinching in. Middle infielders a regular depth. Breaking ball for a strike call. And now a timeout called. Don't know if it was a missed sign or a little conference going on. Each team gets 1 offensive conference per inning.
Yeah, I'd bet money on a missed sign there.
Yeah.
Coach came down from the third base box there with some urgency.
Yeah. 1 out, 1 on. So don't know if you're going to sacrifice here. Runge is in the 8 hole. If you sacrifice him, you lead to your 9-hole hitter. But again, you've got some pinch hitters possibly available if you don't want Akamoto in that situation.
And it wasn't much of a pitch to hit. It was a slider on the outside as he swings through an inside fastball there.
Nice location on that fastball. Just tied up Runge on that swing. Now 0-2 the count.
Yeah, Runge was, so on the inside part of that box, he's almost illegal. So I love the Bruins going inside there.
Yeah, that lead toe right off the edge of that, what would be chalk, but again coming inside, fouled over to the third base dugout.
Yeah, Parker McMahon just throwing it right at those thumbs, right at those hands. If you make contact, it ain't going to be good contact. So
right.
Loved painting that inside corner here. You might be able now to get him expand a little slider off the outside corner as you peppered his fists back-to-back on the inside.
Let's see if we can peek over at Logan Grant, see where he sets up on this pitch. Logan moving a little bit toward the outer half of the plate. Fastball just misses off the edge. Now 1-2 the count.
Great spot, though, just off the outside. Try to get Runge to chase that. If he makes contact, it's off the end. It's not going to be good. It's not going to drive the run in. You're still way ahead at 1-2.
Nick Ravel, the second baseman, trying to keep the runner, Roebuck, close at second base. Here's the 1-2 pitch. staying alive at the plate there as Run just threw the bat at the ball, made contact, foul at the first base side.
Yeah, just a pesky at bat with that one. That's the third one he's fouled away. That one, as you said, just throw those hands and live to see another pitch. Try to put something in play.
Run's hitting .311 on the season, so a good bat. 19 runs batted in. Pressure situation in the top of the 7th inning. Bruins will have the top of the order scheduled to hit when they come to bat in the bottom of the frame. Again, inside. Get out of the way, coach. Dance move over there.
Running out of baseballs here.
As this battle between Parker McMahon and Landon Runge continues.
The only thing he really hasn't thrown him is some high heat. Wouldn't wonder if he would maybe go to that here, change the eye level. Even if you miss up out of the zone, you're still ahead in the count as a pitcher at 2-2. He spoiled everything else you've thrown at him.
Try something different. Again, the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Off the end of the bat, flared out of play once again.
Another slider off the outside corner that Runge throws his hands at and spoils.
Parker will go to the rosin bag. Thought that last pitch had the batter. It looked like might have been a little frustrated there. So now Parker, a little rosin on his fingers. Now he's back to work. The 1-2. Changeup is a swing and a miss. The strikeout, the second out of the inning. The big pitch by Parker McMahon.
Yeah, nice job changing speeds there. He hasn't thrown that changeup all that much today, and seeing it righty on righty there.
4th strikeout of the game for Parker McMahon. And it looks like head coach Tom Hager will go to his bench for a pinch hitter in the 9-hole spot. Stepping into bat, number 31, Varon Sabino. Couple of guys changed uniform numbers for today's game, and this is one of them. Number 31, Varon Sabino will pinch hit for Ricky Akamoto.
Sabino hitting .286 on the season.
Dwayne Monlex will take the opportunity to go out and talk with his pitcher and other players on the pitcher's mound. So he'll use one of his mound visits. Just the first mound visit of the afternoon for the Bruins. As Dwayne Monlex heads back to the bench, the players back to their respective positions, and we'll see what this battle now between Parker McMahon and Varon Sabino. Left-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher.
Sabino, a senior out of Hawaii.
On the outside, Black, the fastball, strike 1 called.
As we said, he's hitting .286 this year, .423 on base percentage.
Second baseman Nick Ravel playing in short right field for the Bruins. Shortstop C.J. Townsend trying to keep the base runner Isaiah Roebuck as close as he can to second. A little further off the outside edge that time, 1-1.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they want to come inside to Sabino. No homers on the year for him. He does have 10 runs batted in.
Bruin dugout making some noise. Jamestown dugout making some noise. A big swing, but he comes up empty. Now 1-2 the count.
Yeah, that was just the heat right past him there.
McMahon struck out the last batter, trying to do the same here if he can against Sabino. Again, the heat. That one's down the left field line, but foul.
Yeah, everything's been fastballs. Everything's been outer half here to Sabino. Scouting report must be don't come inside to him because they haven't really even tried.
Again, a visit to the rosin bag by McMahon. And now back to the rubber. A lot of pitchers like to go third base side or first base side on the rubber, but Parker right in the middle of the rubber. The set, the look, another look, and a step off. God, I had such a dramatic moment going there. Parker steps back on. The Bozeman, Montana native looks in. Logan Grant setting up right behind home plate. A little flare, and it's going to drop, but it's kept on the infield. Here comes a runner around third to throw to home plate. Logan Grant applies the tag, and the out recorded. A nice job by the Bruins. Middle infielder C.J. Townsend to keep that base hit from going through the outfield. It was not hit well. And the throw to home plate, Logan Grant makes the catch and tags the runner. Coming home, Isaiah Roebuck out at the plate. So credit Sabino with the hit. But the play 6-2 at the home plate. No runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base.
Roebuck did not agree with that call at home plate, but he sure looked out from up here.
Yep, and neither did head coach Tom Hager as he came in to talk with the home plate umpire Joe Cassidy. But the call stands, and we'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. For the Bellevue Bruins, it'll be the top of the order, Scott Hansen to lead things off against new pitcher Ben Pullman, who came on and recorded a strikeout against the only man he faced in the 6th. Well, a very exciting way to end the top of the 7th inning there.
Yes, a little bit of a surprising send there on the runner. That ball didn't leave the infield and tried to score from second base. Little jam job right back up the middle. Really nice play staying with it there from Townsend.
And third baseman Ricky Okamoto will re-enter the game at his third base spot.
Yeah, he's been very good defensively, so not surprising to see him back into the game there.
So Hansen, Elsner, Grant, the first 3 scheduled hitters for the Bruins, the top 3 in the order. 1 run on 7 hits, no errors for Jamestown. 1 run on 5 hits and no errors for the Bellevue Bruins. Defense has been sterling by both squads in this one. The pitching has done a great job of when guys have gotten on, they've been able to isolate them. Only 1 run for each squad. Here's Scott Hansen, 0 for 2 today. Swing and a miss on a slider from Bowman.
This is exactly who you want up if you're the Bruins, though. You're top of the order, probably your best 3 hitters here against the best reliever for the Jimmies in Ben Bowman.
Another slider, this time a called strike, 0-2.
You got tight breaker, horizontal break on that slider. Started kind of right at your front shoulder and ends up as a strike. That's a tough pitch to do much of anything with. Hansen's got a battle to here now, down 0-2.
Pullman with a very short, concise motion on the mound. Chopper on the ground to short. To Hopper there. The throw to first base is just in time. Shortstop Landon Runge making the play to retire the leadoff man for the Bruins.
Now adding the first baseman, number 30.
Here's first baseman Stephen Elsner. Elsner 0 for 3 today, but he's had warning track power on 2 of his 3 plate appearances today.
Yeah, just shy from doing a lot of damage for Elsner. I'm sure he'd love to put a charge into another one here. Bowman looks like a tough guy to get a hit off if you're coming from behind with how sharp that slider movement was.
And Elsner takes one off that left hip, so he becomes the 1-out base runner. And the Bruins hope that will be the winning run.
That you love. You get to take a little slider right off the meaty part of the leg.
Yep.
Get on base. You love that.
So the other leading home run threat for the Bruins, catcher Logan Grant, who's had a great day, 2 for 3. His RBI single in the 3rd, play to the only Bruin run, and then a double in the 5th. Logan would love to pepper one off the hill behind that right field fence. Instead, trying to bunt his way on, but it's foul up the third base side.
Not sure I love that approach there.
No, me neither, but don't know if he tried to do that on his own or that was a call from Coach Monlix.
Okamoto was not playing back. He was even with the base at third, maybe a step inside as he is still. Grant's hit the ball well today, and he's doing damage up there at the plate.
1 on, 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning of this tie contest.
Squares again. Tried to drag that one down the first base line and just missed it.
0-2 the count. Now Logan's going to request timeout. So Grant with 16 home runs, 8 doubles.
Leads the conference in runs batted in.
53 runs batted in. Now 59 hits on the season.
Yeah, this is somebody I'd like to see swing the bat.
Associate head coach Mitch Schmidt talking with Logan up the first base side. Now home plate umpire Joe Cassidy is going to come over to break up that conference.
I know you only need one run here, but Grant's a guy who could put one in the gap and get you that one run immediately.
Yeah. And the last time a situation happened with a runner at second and an open base, the Jimmies intentionally walked Jake Lacey. That might happen again here. Let's see. 0-2. That one's hammered. Almost got a piece of Mitch Schmidt. Standing in the first base coaching area.
And Ben Bowman, is the right-hander, has been exclusively fastball slider. So with the lefty up here in Grant, that slider's breaking right into his barrel as opposed to away, or if you're Elsner, right into your backside. But a better.
That one will get through on the wild pitch. A 58-foot fastball that time. And so now the Bruins have Steven Elsner in scoring position. Let's see what the Jimmies decide to do here. They're ahead the count 1-2 on Grant, or if they will intentionally walk him to face Jake Lacey.
No way with 2 strikes you're going to put him on unless this gets all the way back to 3-2, I would assume. But you don't have to give in to him here and give him something to hit.
Bowman looks the runner back at second. And a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Logan Grant goes down swinging for the second out of the inning. But still a runner in scoring position as the Bruin batter is center fielder Jake Lacey.
21, Jake Lacey.
Let's see if they're going to walk Lacey once again or pitch to him this time. A couple of coaches standing around with a clipboard outside the third base dugout. And it looks like they will intentionally walk Jake Lacey once again.
Yeah, it'd be a little surprising not to. Lacey 1 for 1 with 2 walks today. Macaris had a little harder time at the plate. He's 0 for 3. This gives you a force out at all 3 bases as well. Probably the smart play here.
So a chance for Aiden Macaris to deliver. He's done a nice job since joining the Bruins squad in early March. 0 for 2 today. This battle between Ben Bowman and Aiden Macaris. First pitch swinging, misses on the slider. Biting down and away from him.
Yeah, Macaris, that was a pretty big swing trying to do damage here. You really just need to serve something into the outfield.
Again, that big hole between first and second base position.
Yeah, if I'm Macaris here, I'm shortening up. I'm just trying to get a bat on that slider and just serve a ball into right center field.
Way wide on that pitch, 1-1.
Good, I almost sent another one to the backstop there from Bowman.
Macaris, the junior out of Okotoks, Alberta, Canada. One of 7 Canadian players on the Bruins squad this year.
And Elsner at second. He's a big boy at 6'3", 230, but he can move it a little bit.
Yep.
6 of 7 stolen bases on the year. Looked good moving down to second on that pass ball earlier.
He'll get a secondary lead with the pitch. Swing and a miss, another slider. Macaris comes up empty, now 1-2. Jamestown fans making some noise on the third base side of the field here.
Be shocked to see anything but sliders from here on out from Bowman to Macaris, too. He swung through 2 of them. Just got to put the ball in play or keep yourself alive here. Spoil some pitches if you're Macaris.
And again, the breaking ball. The swing and the miss to strikeout. So 2 strikeouts in the inning. Strand 2 more base runners for the Bruins. We're going to extra innings. No runs on no hits. There were no errors and 2 base runners left on. The Bruins have left 5, 7, 8, 10 runners in the 7 innings. Extra inning time, top of the 8th inning on the Bruins Sports Network. Yep. Parker McMahon will continue on for the Bellevue Bruins. His pitch total, Bill? 89. Thank you very much.
Some milling about down there near the bullpen, but nobody throwing with urgency.
Right. Parker's the guy that you've relied on for a good chunk of the season. You know, you're going to ride your horse as long as you can.
And under 90 pitches, he's thrown
Yeah.
very efficiently. Has kept the leadoff man off the bases every inning except the 4th and the 2nd. So,
Yep. 5 of the 7 innings so far. Been off to a good start.
Somebody you would trust here against, excuse me, that is the
Top of the order
the
for
order, yes.
Jamestown. Yeah, Chase Burke will start things off. So both teams in their last half innings have had the lead up part of the order in. Let's see what the top of the 8th inning brings for the University of Jamestown Jimmies. First pitch fastball, chopped on the ground. CJ backhands, throws the first, picked over there by Steven Elsner on a nice play to retire Burke, leading it off the top of the 8th inning.
Yeah, Townsend had a little trouble getting that ball out of his glove, a little double clutch, kind of threw it into this nice bouncy field turf, and Elsner, that long pick can be the toughest one to grab, and he just, with authority, snatched that ball out of the air, fired it back around the diamond.
CJ went to that backhand play rather than try to circle around it, but made it work. 1 up, 1 down. Here's second baseman Alex Alva.
Alva's 1 for 3 today with a single in the first inning. Offers at that one.
Strike called. Well, both teams have had some opportunities. The Bruins more than the Jimmies, as Parker McMahon has been strong. That one's going to get out of play above the third base dugout.
Parker's working quickly here, too. It looks like he feels still very good out there as he's into the 8th inning, just over 90 pitches.
Well, it's a cool day, so, it's not like it's a 90-degree day when pitcher's going to be extra taxed with the heat and humidity. So a day the pitchers like to work, and Parker McMahon has done a great job. Fastball goes upstairs.
Still good life on that four-seam fastball as well.
We've got a couple of Bellevue reserves with a jugs gun in front of us, but that's way too far away from my old eyes to see. So he's been in the upper 80s to around 90 miles an hour in previous outings. I would say he's in that same category again today. Chopped on the ground, this time to second base. Nick Gravel gets to it, and there are 2 away. Middle infielders accounting for the first 2 outs in this 8th inning.
That looked like another changeup there from McMahon as the bottom kind of fell out of that one. Alva just couldn't do anything but at the very end of the bat on it, a little slow roller out to Gravel.
That'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Ryan Muzalar. Muzalar 1 for 3 on the afternoon, as we've mentioned several times, the leading hitter, the leading RBI guy for the Jimmies on the year. 4-year member of the Jamestown squad, looks at a called strike on a breaking ball from Parker McMahon.
And nobody on base is exactly how you want to face a guy hitting over 430 on the season. Coach didn't like that call. Looked maybe a little off the outside corner, but Bruins will definitely take it.
That time the Bruins don't get the call. Count evens up 1-1. Two outs, nobody on. We're in the top of the 8th inning. We're in extra innings in this opening of the 4-game set. Popped up in the air right side. Steven Elsner adjusts with the wind. He's in foul territory near the fence and does have room to make the play. So a 3 up, 3 down. Top of the 8th inning. 1 run will win it for the Bruins as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Let's check here. I've been reticent to get to the phone. I forgot about it.
Neglecting your duties.
I know. It's old age. It's creeping up on me. No, it's not creeping up. It's here. Let's go Jimmies. From Landon Runge, listening in California, checking in once again. Thank you for that. And it's the part of the order we want. Go Bruins. Thanks again to Greg Hope for joining us from the comfort of his office. Maybe Greg will join us here in person tomorrow afternoon. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer tomorrow. Normal this time of year in the Omaha, Bellevue areas in the mid to upper 60s. We're about 5 to 10 degrees below that today. But it's supposed to be about upper 60s tomorrow, so right about what it should be with a little bit more peaks of the sun tomorrow. It's been overcast clouds all day so far today. So baseball and meteorology on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. Elijah Tanner, Anthony Lynn, Nick Gravel, the first 3 scheduled Bellevue hitters. Not the power part of the Bruin lineup, but a lot of speed amongst those 3 guys. Let's see if they can make something happen against relief pitcher Ben Bowman, now in his 3rd inning of relief work. First pitch, fastball, outer half, strike one. Elijah, sacrifice bunt his first time up. And then a pop-up and a line out. 0 for 2 for Elijah.
The line out was absolutely stung right at the second baseman, too, so saw the ball well in his last at-bat. As Bowman misses well outside.
1-1 the count.
Bowman, 22 innings pitched in 14 appearances coming into this one. So stretching out over an inning and a third now.
That one's hit to the right side. However, the right fielder Roebuck is there to make the play on the run to retire Elijah Tanner.
Good piece of hitting there, though, from Tanner. Well-struck ball, just kind of right at Roebuck.
Now batting the right
You wonder how much gas Bowman has, though, going multiple innings, as we said. Only 22 innings pitched in 14 appearances on the season. Now at 1 2/3 innings pitched.
Next man he will face is right fielder Anthony Lind. On the outside edge, a slider gets the outside black. Bowman ahead in the count, 0-1.
Lind with 2 singles today, too. He's seen the ball well, hit the ball well, so a guy that you like having up here.
Again, same spot. Not a pitch that Anthony wants to go to, but now he'll have to, down 0-2 in the count.
Yeah, that same spot in the zone that the Jimmies were complaining about at the top half of the inning. Now darting in the second, in the bottom half.
That paint the black on the outside edge. Chopped on the ground to short. Two-hopper, gloved, throw to first in time on the play by shortstop Landon Runge. Oh, the Bruins will send second baseman Nick Gravel to the plate. Trying to keep the inning alive. Gravel had a sacrifice bunt his last time up. 0 for 2 prior to that.
And both balls, besides the sac bunt, were hit very well by Nick Gravel.
That one's going to get out of play, foul.
Yeah, Gravel with a ground out to second. That was a one-hop diving play, and then an absolute smoked line drive to the third baseman before his sac bunt his last time. So seeing the ball well, and as we mentioned, Bowman fastball slider. That slider breaking right into the left-handed bat of Gravel. That's what he saw in that first pitch. Fouled it straight back.
Gravel, the sophomore from Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia, the eastern part of Canada. Chopper opposite way. Will it get over the third baseman's head? No, it won't. Akamoto gloves it, throws it, and both teams a 3-up, 3 down, top and bottom of the 8th inning. Hey, let's go to 9, shall we?
Why not? Yakamoto, not the guy on that Jimmy's defense you want to be testing. He's made a handful of really nice plays over at third base today. Second time he's retired Gravel.
All right, as we head to the top of the 9th inning, it'd be the middle part of the order for the Jamestown Jimmies, the 4, 5, and 6 spots in the order. Parker McMahon back to the mound.
97.
Question for you, 97 pitches for Parker McMahon. The other question is, if game number 1 does go to 9 innings or more, the second game becomes a 7? We think so. Okay. All right, we'll confirm that in between. So we may have a reverse order on the number of innings per game because of the situation. All right. You know, both teams coming in expecting to score some runs. Both teams averaging just about 8.5 runs per game. They've been held to 1 apiece through the first 8 innings. Parker McMahon doing the job for the Bellevue Bruins. Avery Leastman and Ben Bowman doing the job for the Jimmies. You can't see down the bullpen, can you?
I can't see a number, but I can see somebody throwing.
Somebody's throwing down there, but there's poles and fences and buildings in between the way. But
And the Bruin mascot wearing a birthday hat.
all right, leading it off in the top of the 9th inning, designated hitter Jordan Singleton. He has the RBI for Jamestown way back in the first inning. First pitch fastball from Parker McMahon, strike called.
Yeah, Singleton 1 for 3 on the day.
2 more pitches, and Parker McMahon will be at the 100 pitch mark on today's contest. 1-1 to count, and that pitch down low.
We mentioned earlier Singleton, he's hitting the 4 spot. He's only hitting 260. 333 last year, 392 the year before that. So Jamestown probably trying to get his back going back to where they know it can be.
Nicely located pitch on the outside part of the plate. Now 1-2 the count. Singleton 1 for 3 today. That's single in the first inning. Just a little bit low.
Good pitch there.
Grant and McMahon both wanted to call on that one. That just dove a little bit at the end.
Yeah, looked like another changeup. Honestly, surprised that Singleton didn't offer it that. That, as you said, dove out of the strike zone at the very last minute. That's a good job not pulling the string by Singleton, even though McMahon thought he had it in the zone.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Couldn't catch up to the high fastball. Another strikeout recorded by Parker McMahon, and I've lost track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts for Parker McMahon today.
5-1 looking.
That'll bring to the plate the catcher, Tristan Madison. 0 for 3 from Madison.
No, I think because they have Colton Clement.
Fouls the first pitch. A line out, a ground out,
And a fly out to left.
and a fly out, yes.
Because then you can get a
Just need a strikeout for the out cycle here, right?
We'll take it. 7 hits on the day for the Jimmies, but 5 of them came in the first 3 innings. Parker McMahon has really settled in after wiggling out of some early troubles. Over the 100 pitch mark on the afternoon, this will more than likely be the last inning for Parker McMahon, I would think.
Yeah, you would assume, especially with some action in the Bruin bullpen.
That pitch misses upstairs.
Get him through this inning, and then you have 9-1-2 due up for the Bruins in the bottom of the 9th. We'll have to not send him with a second consecutive hard luck loss.
That's
or
right.
No decision.
Here's the 2-1 pitch, breaking ball just off the outside edge. Grant tried to frame it.
Last time out for Parker, he went the distance, gave up 1 run, and took a loss.
Trying to keep the bases clear. 3-1. And just as I say that, they are not clear anymore. The walk, only the second walk of the game by McMahon. Puts Madison at first. They expect a courtesy runner to come in for him. And the courtesy runner will be Dallas Cummins, number 17, Dallas Cummins.
And Cummins can run 17 stolen bases in 20 attempts on the season. So a lot of stolen bases and a very good success rate.
Logan Grant has thrown out 2 attempted base stealers on today's game. So the matchup within the game as Isaiah Roebuck, the right fielder, steps in.
Yeah, I'd be a little surprised to see him go with how well Grant's thrown the ball from behind the plate today. And Roebuck, a solid single his last time up.
1 for 3, throw to first base. Cummins back on the dive.
Cummins was leaning a little bit there, too.
He's got kind of a normal lead at first base, about 1 foot at the edge of that circular cutout. Both bullpens are active. Southpaw throwing in the Jamestown dugout, or bullpen, excuse me. A little shorter lead this time for Cummins. Bunt right back to the mound. McMahon will go to first to take the sure out. Sacrifice bunt by Isaiah Roebuck. Advances the pinch runner, Dallas Cummins, to second base.
He might have had to play at second there, I thought.
You don't want to, it'd been bang,
Risky,
bang. Yeah. So it'll be into the hands of Ben Patton. He came on as a pinch runner.
And Sack bunted his only plate appearance in the ball game.
So McMahon trying to strand another runner. Popped up if it's playable, but it just out of the reach of Stephen Elsner behind the first base dugout. Had the wind been blowing out of the south instead of the north, that one might have stayed in play.
Not a ton of foul ground here either at Brown Park.
No. Backstop very close to home plate. Foul territory very limited, trying to get as much distance as they can in the outfield fence.
Yeah, 1-1 game's kind of rare here at Brown. It's a hitter's environment most of the time.
McMahon delivers once again on the inside black. 0-2 the count on Patton.
Well spotted fastball there. Patton's not going to be able to do much with that even if he swings the bat. Dotted the inside edge there.
We've seen Parker live there a lot this afternoon. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball just off the outside edge. Again, a great location for the count. Parker wanted that one again. When Parker's a little bit upset with the call, he'll always go back and grab that rosin bag and then throw it back in the back of the mound.
Yeah, that one was off the plate, but a very good waste pitch. Not a ton off the plate. One you easily have seen Patton offer at.
Yes, a pitcher's pitch. Great for the count. There's a fastball. Strike three call. Top of the zone, outer half. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Parker McMahon. And the Jimmies go down. No runs on no hits. There were no errors and 1 man left on base. 8.5 innings in the book. We're still tied 1-1. The Bruins and the Jimmies. Back to the mound will go Ben Bowman, trying to keep this one knotted at 1. It'll be the 9-1-2 part of the order for the Bruins. C.J. Townsend, Scott Hansen, and Steven Elsner.
If that is it for McMahon, too, what an outing for him. Goes 9, only gives up 1 run, strikes out 6.
108 pitches on the day, I'm guessing. 112. I was a little short of that. 112 pitches. If the Bruins can eke out a run in the bottom of the 9th inning, Parker will get the win. And we'll take a little break and get ready for game number 2.
And 9-1-2 to go up here for the Bruins. Townsend re-entered the game. Looks like he will.
He'll hit in his 9-hole spot here, because if he's pinch hit for here, then he has to leave.
Right.
No more re-entry. You get 1 re-entry. So.
And he is in the on-deck circle.
A good hitter, but a great defender. So you don't want to take him out in case you have to go to the 10th inning.
And did walk his first plate appearance.
So CJ will try to find a way to get on board.
CJ Townsend.
And we did mention last inning, this is stretching Bowman out a little bit into his 3rd inning of work now.
Working exclusively from the stretch. On the outside black, the strike call.
Double-barreled action going on in the Jamestown bullpen as well.
Breaking ball, 0-2. CJ, one of 9 Bellevue baseball players who were honored with the North Star Scholar Athlete Award this year. I think that's the 3rd time CJ has been honored with that award. 0-2 the count to the Bruins shortstop. Madison sets up outer half, and the swing and the miss. Strikeout is out number 1. Jamestown fans making some noise
Now batting the 3rd baseman.
on the 3rd base side of the field.
Hansen.
Back to the top of the order, Scott Henson. Scott was hit by a pitch, otherwise 0 for 3. He would love to get on base. He's done a nice job all season long getting on base, a .434 on base percentage, mostly in that leadoff spot. Slider, strike called, outer half.
The only time on today was via the hit by pitch. Bowman's peppering the zone here with most of his offerings. Bruins can't be too patient.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Double-barreled action in the Jamestown bullpen, a righty and a lefty working down there. Should Bowman need some help, but it looks like it's his inning to complete.
And he's been pretty efficient with his offerings.
Trying to go right at Hansen. That pitch hits the inside part of the plate. Back-to-back strikeouts by Ben Bowman will bring up first baseman Steven Elsner.
Yeah, backdoored the slider to a righty. You don't see that a ton. Started that at his front hip, and it just broke into the inside part of the plate. That is a tough one to pull the trigger on, and Bowman strikes out the first 2. Elsner was hit by a pitch his last at-bat, his only time on base today. But
0 for 3 otherwise.
somebody who could end this one with 1 swing.
That fastball misses off the outside edge. Steven looking for something inner half that he can drive.
Working ahead in the count is going to be big here too, so Bowman can't go right back to that sharp breaking slider.
Pitch misses up, 2-0.
And Elsner has to be happy now. He's ahead in the count. Bowman's probably going to have to come with a fastball here. His slider has good action. That's going to be a tough ball to get the bat on with any authority.
Again, the slider. Elsner comes up empty on the swing. Now 2-1 the count.
Elsner was trying to hit your car with that one. That was a big, and that's what you should be doing if you're him up 2-0. That one did have the nice slider break there after missing a couple of times.
19 home runs on the year for Steven. He'd love to have 20. Not on that pitch, however. Again, that little wrinkle of the slider just moving the ball away from his bat. Evens the count at 2-2.
Yeah, and that one was pretty sharp, almost more like a cutter there. Not a ton of drop. But yeah, tough pitch to get the bat on. Elsner, another big swing. He's got to shorten up here a little bit, put something in play.
And late on that swing, again, the cutter slash slider, whatever, the ball moving. And Ben Bowman with a strong ninth inning strikes out the side. 10 innings coming your way at least this afternoon on the Bruins Sports Network as the Bruins and the Jimmies are tied at 1. And it looks like we'll have a pitching change for the Bellevue Bruins. Number 18, Braden Anderson, will come in out of the bullpen for the Bruins in relief of Parker McMahon. Tip your cap to both starting pitchers today, Parker McMahon for the Bruins and Avery Leisman. At times they bent, but they never really broke. As the game now in the hands of the bullpen.
And Braden Anderson comes on. He's a 5'10" right-hander out of Kearney, Nebraska.
Hey, you know Kearney.
I know it well by way of Iowa Western Community College. This will be his 14th appearance. He's 2-0, 3 saves in 16 2/3, a 2.70 ERA, and a whip under 1 at .9. So he keeps the base paths pretty clear.
So we'll see if Braden can pick right back up where Parker left off. He'll be looking at the 8-9-1 part of the order for the Jimmies as we head to this top of the 10th inning. Longest game I've ever broadcast on the Bruins Sports Network has been 14 innings, 15 against Dakota State a couple of years or so ago.
My scorebook is officially ruined.
Yeah, mine goes to 12 innings.
Mine only goes to 9.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to start having to fill out the bottom half here.
So Braden Anderson will get his 8 warm-up tosses as we get ready to go to this 10th inning.
And he'll face 8-9-1 for the Jimmies. Could possibly see a pinch hitter or two, but Landon Runge, who is the 8-hole, is meandering up to the plate.
Let's give out that text message number one more time if you've got a late comment or two. 402-515-7654. Mick Krupski and Mick Krupski bringing you the broadcast today on the Bruins Sports Network. Leading it off in the 10th, shortstop Landon Runge. We've been visiting with his family this afternoon via text messages as well. First pitch from Braden Anderson, misses way wide.
Runge with a single in the second. Followed that up with a 5-3 putout and a strikeout. So 1 for 3 on the afternoon.
Again, the leadoff man in the inning, so ultra important to what you can do with your offense. Runge awaits on the 1-0 pitch. Anderson, fastball, outer half, strike one call.
Important for Anderson to work ahead here at the bottom of this order. Probably not going to pinch hit for Akamoto next either. He's been a defensive stalwart. They already did once, so they can't again without taking him out for the bottom of this inning.
Anderson misses off the outside edge, 2-1.
And you really don't want to face guys at the top of this order with men on base, so Anderson needs to find the zone here, work ahead.
Braden spent 2 years at Iowa Western Community College. Fouled back on the slider, 2-2 the count. And a 4-0 record. While a Reaver, an ERA of just over 3 in his Iowa Western career.
And 129 as a sophomore, so following that up with another excellent season here for the Bruins.
Grant awaits the pitch. Slider, swing and a miss. Leading lady is retired in the top of the 10th inning. And that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Akamoto.
Now batting the third baseman, number 7, Ricky Akamoto.
And Akamoto, he's 1 for 2. He had a little Texas leaguer to right field his first time up. He was pinch hit last time on that play where Roebuck was thrown out at the plate.
First pitch fastball chopped off the front foot of Akamoto. He makes sure the home plate umpire, Joe Cassidy, saw or heard that as he hops his way up the first baseline.
Can't feel good in this cool weather.
No.
Never feels good.
52 degrees when we started, 53 degrees after a couple innings, now all the way up to 55 degrees. We have not seen the sun yet today after a nasty day of weather yesterday in the Omaha Bellevue area. Almost 3 inches of rain, hail, winds.
Probably lucky we're on a field turf field here at Brown Park.
Yeah, strike called on the outer half. Yeah, we would not be playing on a natural grass and dirt field today. Ahead in the count, 0-2 to the 9-hole hitter. Chopped on the ground to first base. Steven Elsner gets the nice big hop. 3 unassisted on the play as the first 2 men are retired in the order.
And that is huge, taking care of business at the bottom of this order before turning it back over.
And now
Chase Burke in the top.
Tom Hager once again wants to have words with the home plate umpire, Joe Cassidy.
I'm not sure what that could even be about.
There's been a couple times today we've been, add that to the list.
Yeah, that was just a routine ground ball to the first baseman.
Here's Chase Burke. Burke 1 for 4 today. Fastball from Braden Anderson, blown past him. Strike 1.
The 1 was a single all the way back, first batter of the game. Strikeout, fly out, ground out since then.
A little variety, huh?
Mm-hmm. So we
Burke lays off that high pitch, 1-1.
Started those hands at that high heater from Anderson.
Braden looks in, gets his signal from Logan Grant. Slider catches that outside corner.
And Burke came in with an on-base percentage over 500, so you know he's got a good eye in that leadoff spot. Anderson doing a very nice job getting ahead of him 1-2. A lot of options for a put-away pitch here.
Popped up, but that's going to get over our heads out of play. Logan Grant flips off the mask to take a look, but well up on the hill behind the field. Count remains 1-2.
See if Anderson goes back to that slider away here off the plate.
Upstairs and in, 2-2.
Yeah, went with the high heat. Kind of looked like Burke was looking for the slider, too. He didn't react really to that fastball that was right at his left ear.
Take one in the head for the team.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Do not recommend.
Foul on a play once again. Burke, the senior out of Minot, North Dakota. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the pitch. Line back up the middle. That's a base hit. That knocks Braden Anderson back as he rolls off the mound. So a solid single to center by Chase Burke keeps the inning alive for second baseman Alex Alva.
Yeah, that ball was well struck right back through the box. Almost undressed Anderson there as he rolled off the mound to avoid wearing that one.
That was one of those Charlie Brown line drives where everything goes flying.
Mm-hmm.
So Anderson will recover himself and get ready to face Alva. Alva a single in the first inning as well, and then 0 for 3 after that.
Couple ground outs to the second baseman. So Gravel needing to look alive.
Pitched low, ball 1.
Alva the only run scored so far for Jamestown in this game, as you said, all the way back in the first inning.
Run in the first for the visitors, 1 in the third for the home team. Throw over to first base. Sends Burke back on the dive. Burke was thrown out trying to steal third after his first inning single.
20 of 27 stolen bases on the year, including that failed attempt in this game. But leads their team with 20 steals, so he will move.
Front foot past that infield cutout. Anderson with a long hold. Hit in the air to right center field out near the scoreboard. Jake Lacey will have room to make the catch just shy of the warning track. And the side is retired. No runs on one hit, no errors, and one man left.
There remains Bellevue 1, Jamestown 1.
1-1 our score as we head to the bottom of the 10th. And Ben Bowman will stride back out to the mound. Looks like Bowman's going to keep going as long as he can for the Jimmies. 41 pitches
That's
in
a lot
his
for
relief work.
For a closer.
31 strikes and 10 balls, part of that 41 pitch total.
Still action in that Jamestown bullpen as well, as left-hander throws. He's got a hoodie on, can't tell you the number.
And he may just kind of be staying loose down there, too, at this point of the game. One run could come via a home run or a couple of quick hits, so we'll see what Ben Bowman will have to offer to Logan Grant, Jake Lacey, and Aiden Macaris. First three scheduled hitters in the Bruins' bottom of the 10th inning.
Grant, probably somebody they love to see have up here, too. He's got single and a double in this game.
Logan and Steven Elsner have been in that home run RBI competition all season long for the Bruins lead. They're also the top of the charts in the North Star Athletic Association. As Logan, the third-year Bellevue Bruin out of Chestermere, Alberta, Canada.
And he has the lone RBI in today's ball game for the Bruins to take the season lead back from Steven Elsner. 53 runs batted in.
Yeah, Steven can claim the home run lead, but Logan's got the RBI lead as of right now. First pitch from Bowman, little cutter on the outside corner, strike called.
Yeah, he's been very efficient. A lot of strikes. Which is in contrast to the starter from the Jimmies today, who was at almost 1-to-1 ball to strike.
Upstairs, 1-1 to count to Grant. Again, Bowman with that very compact delivery. That left foot will take a short stab step, then come to a pause, and then delivery. And that looks like a cutter slash slider once again finds the zone.
Yeah,
1-2 the count.
He's got one with a little more
snap,
a little more drop,
yeah.
and one that kind of just that late sharp action, and that can't be very fun to face as a hitter.
That one bounced to the plate. 2-2 the count on Logan. Right side of the field playing Logan to pull. Left side of the field playing him a little bit tardy. Unusual alignment. Chop foul against the Bellevue dugout up the first base line.
Yeah, Burke, the center fielder, he has not been on the right field side of second base for a single Bruin hitter today. He has been playing everyone into that left center field gap.
2-2 pitch on its way. Misses low and away, so a full count. Payoff pitch upcoming to Bellevue catcher Logan Grant, starting off the bottom of the 10th inning.
Very interesting what Bowman does here. He's spotted the slider almost better than the fastball. Wouldn't be shocked to see that cutter on the inner half here.
Grant awaits. Popped in the air to right field. Second baseman going back. Right fielder Roebuck coming in. And it will be Roebuck, Isaiah Roebuck, who will make the catch for the first out of the 10th inning.
That's exactly what it was, to a little breaking ball in the inner half that Grant just couldn't quite drop the barrel onto.
Russell Buckmaster sent along a nice compliment to you and me, Mick. Two great announcers still at it. Hey, do we get paid overtime for this? All right. Here's Jake Lacey, the center fielder. Swing and a miss. And the pitch breaking away.
Lacey, 2 walks, two intentional walks, a regular walk, and a single. He's 1 for 1 today. How about that?
What a deal. On base up 4 times, on base 4 times. Top of the strike zone call, now 0-2.
Already at .432 on base percentage. It's skyrocketing after today's contest. Hopefully for a 5th time getting on base here in the bottom of the 10th.
That pitch missing outside, 1-2. Bruins with 10 left on base in today's game. 7 left on base for the Jimmies. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Bowman. Chopped on the ground to short. Long way to go. Can't get there. It's Jake Lacey with a single to become the 1-out base runner for the Bruins. Shortstop Landon Runge on the diving effort to try to get there. Deflected off his glove. And timeout call. Runge may have landed awkwardly after that play as the base umpire calls timeout. Looks like he's going to be okay, however, as they share a laugh.
Hat and sunglasses went flying. So
yeah.
Might have tasted a little bit of the excellent field turf here at John Stella Field.
The little black rubber pellets in between the blades. Throw over to first base, but time was not in, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Here's Aiden Macaris, another chance for Aiden. He's been up with scoring opportunities a couple of times today, hoping to deliver this time. Showing bunt, pulls it away. Lacey, the runner at first.
Lacey can run to 9 of 10 stolen bases on the year. Be interested if that was a for show bunt. Maybe try a little hit and run or something here with Macaris. Huge hole on that right side.
2-0. That one misses up and away.
Was not squared there either.
This would be a better pitch to do a hit and run on because you know Bowman's going to try to be around the zone behind 2-0. And now a visit from one of the assistant coaches. Catcher Tristan Madison will join his pitcher Ben Bowman and the assistant coach to talk strategy here. A 2-0 situation for Aiden Macaris. Elijah Tanner, the next Bruin batter, awaiting on deck.
Yeah, this is a spot I'd love to see Macaris just try to drive a ball into that right center field gap. They're probably not coming into him, as most of Bowman's offerings have been fastball, slider, cutter. A lot of outer half stuff. Going to be hard to pull either that slider or that cutter. And there's just been a huge gap over there with the runner being held on at first, second baseman playing into double play depth.
It's the 3rd or 4th mound visit by the coaching staff from Jamestown. This one, apologize, I don't have that exact number, but now 3-0 the count as that one misses way wide, so Macaris for sure will be taking a pitch here.
And that was a slider the catcher had to backhand in the left-handed batter's box to keep that from going all the way to the backstop. Not what you want to see as a coach after your mound visit is.
Right, missing that far out of the zone.
Slider, yeah, into the other batter's box.
There's a strike call on the slider in the zone.
And 3-0, a breaker there. So don't even be expecting a fastball here if you're Macaris. Still be looking for something that you can take that other way, something that's going to be moving away from you. Don't be surprised with a...
Lacey with a big lead to throw to first base. He's back in time.
Don't be surprised if you get another slider or that tighter little cutter. Those are hard pitches to pull.
Let's see if there's anything happening on this 3-1 pitch. Lacey again, that front foot past the cutout. Jake holds, swing and a miss on a pitch outside the zone. So Aiden a little bit overly aggressive there. The count goes full.
That was a nice heater outside off the plate from Bowman. That front shoulder stayed in there, though, from Macaris. It looked like he was trying to drive that one back through the box. A little more selective here, 3-2. Looks like he's widened his stance, hopefully shorten up that swing a bit.
Throw over to first base. A little closer play this time, but Lacey back okay.
And this would be an interesting spot to maybe send Lacey here. 2 strikes. The way Bowman's thrown, it's probably going to be a slider. Harder pitch to throw on. As they check on him again, that one looks like it hit him in the lat. That probably didn't feel great.
Had it not hit him, it might have gone down the first base line.
A little unlucky.
Yeah.
Maybe less inclined to run after wearing that baseball.
Here's the battle between pitcher, batter, and base runner. Lacey goes, fouled out of play.
And it was a fastball in that outer half again from Bowman. That's as surprising as anything to me there. He's been more slider dominant.
Yeah, that's the sliders, the swing and miss pitch. That's his best offering there. So kind of surprised he went straight fastball there.
And he threw slider 3-0 and fastball 3-2. So pitching backwards from Bowman, keeping you guessing. But a very, very good job from Aiden Macris to spoil that one.
Let's see if Lacey's on the move again on this 3-2 pitch. Jake goes. Pitch outside the zone. Ball 4. So the Bruins have 2 runners on. Just 1 out in the inning. And Elijah Tanner will step in.
And that was such a good at-bat from Aiden Macris to work that walk out of Bowman. He's been throwing very well. You have a runner on first. Macris has had a tougher day at the plate with the 2 strikeouts. Never lost confidence. Draws the walk. You have 2 men on now for Elijah Tanner.
Macris now over 50 pitches coming out of the bullpen. Elijah looking for his first hit of the afternoon. This would be a great spot, Bruin fans are hoping. First pitch swung on and missed.
Outfield moved in a little bit here, try to cut down any run at the plate, so a little extra room for him to try to get one to drop behind somebody. Roebuck, the right fielder, the only one still playing at regular depth. He must have the strongest arm.
Elijah like to try to hit a gapper here if he can. Throw to second base. Not in time,
turn.
but
Yeah,
again, just
not a big lead over there either. That's just probably seeing if anything's on more than anything.
making them aware that, hey, you know we're there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lacey had not wandered very far from the bag, not even to the second base umpire there.
Dancing around at second. That pitch off the outside edge. 1-1 the count on Elijah Tanner.
Bowman's losing a little steam on that fastball, too. This is probably more pitches than he's used to throwing. He's over 50, quite a bit for a guy who's the team leader in saves.
Tanner awaits. Foul back.
That was an excellent approach from Tanner. He just barely missed that ball, rifling it straight back into the backstop. That ball, if he squares that up a little bit more, it's right over the second baseman's head, and that's ball game.
Now 1-2 the count on the Bruin left fielder.
Keep that same approach, though.
Yep.
As we've said, Bowman, he's really not thrown inside almost at all to any right-handed batter today. Just Tanner hugs that inside of the batter's box.
Lays off the high fastball, 2-2.
And again, that one's up and out. And I'm sure these hitters know that. He hasn't really tested the inside part of the plate. He's probably towards the end of his leash on pitch count-wise, so look for something away and try to drive it that direction.
Madison, the catcher, sets up outer half. Fouled back. Again, a good hack by Tanner to stay alive.
Yeah, that was up right over the middle of the play. Tanner again just missed driving one to the outfield. He's right on this.
Tanner with 38 runs batted in on the season. Would love to make number 39 happen in this at-bat. Lacey the lead at second. Macris the lead at first. Throw again back to second. Lacey back on the head first dive.
That was the more committed move there, not the inside turn. But again, Lacey, he's not very far off that base at second. He probably knows he has the speed on the ball of the outfield to score without a huge lead, taking a good secondary.
Way wide, pass ball, wild pitch, all the way to the screen. And now the Bruins have the winning run, 90 feet away in the person of Jake Lacey. Aiden Macris also following up at second base. His run doesn't mean anything, and now the outfielders will come way in. A deep fly ball is going to win it anyway for the Bruins. So all three outfielders will come to a distance they think they can throw out a runner at home plate, moving towards it.
And if I'm Bowman here, this ball's not going to be a strike because a walk really means nothing.
Right.
see if you can get Tanner to chase. If you do, great. If not, the bases are loaded and you have a force out everywhere.
All 4 infielders also playing in. And it's off the outside edge. And the walk to Elijah Tanner.
Really a pretty good pitch from Bowman and a great take from Tanner. That one was off the plate outside. You're not doing any damage with it. Really doesn't hurt Jamestown. Almost helps that you have a force at home now.
And again, all 4 infielders will try to play in. And Anthony Lynn's job here is to hit something to the outfield.
2 hits today for Lind. Grounded out to the shortstop his last time up.
But first, a visit and a bullpen call.
Bringing the hook with him.
So Tom Hager heads to the mound. That's the end of the day for relief pitcher Ben Bowman. He's had an excellent outing, has run into some trouble with a hit and 2 walks here in the 10th. As the new pitcher is number 15, Ethan Petty.
This will be his 15th appearance on the season. He brings a 3.86 ERA and is 1-1 on the year in 14 innings pitched. 3.10 batting average against, which is pretty high for the pretty good ERA at 3.86.
A senior out of Langley, Washington will come on here. The base runners on are still the responsibility of Ben Bowman, but Ethan Petty thrown into the fire here. So about 60 pitches thrown by Ben Bowman in his stint. Bowman came in the bottom of the 6th inning, struck out the first man he faced, then worked 3 more scoreless innings before running into some trouble here in the 10th. Bases loaded, 1 out. This tie 1-1 game as Ethan Petty, a sidewinder, will get his tosses.
Yeah, Petty 5'10", 150, as you said, out of Langley, Washington.
So the height of the pitchers has gradually declined for Jamestown from 6'4" to 6'1" to 5'10".
Second year in the program last year, a .42 ERA in 23 appearances. So somebody clearly Jamestown trusts in a big spot here. Hasn't fared quite as well this year in 14 appearances. We said 386 earned run average, but
Bellevue head coach Dave Denley's behind me here, women's basketball coach, brought us our lunch. Thanks, Dave. Baseball coach Dwayne Monluck's not averse to putting on a squeeze play.
Be a little surprised with the force out now. And
force out makes it a little bit more difficult, but Anthony Lynn, somebody that handles the bat very well, so let's see if Anthony's given the green light to swing or maybe a suicide squeeze play, a do-or-die situation.
Lynn, as we said, does have 2 hits today. Somebody you'd probably like to see swing the bat.
Lacey getting his lead off of third base. Breaking ball, strike 1 called. Again, that little different arm angle from Petty than what we saw from Bowman.
Yeah, the pitchers have gotten shorter and they've gotten more to the side on their releases as Bowman kind of had that
3/4 slot.
3/4 almost catcher's release for the short arm the ball.
But put down, play at the plate as a do or die, and the Bellevue Bruins win it. On the suicide squeeze from Anthony Lynn, scoring Jake Lacey. And a very happy bunch of Bellevue Bruins come out and mob each other on the pitcher's mound as the Bruins come away with a 2-1 victory in game number 1 of this 4-game set. For the Bellevue Bruins, 2 runs on 6 hits. They committed no errors. For the Jamestown Jimmies, 1 run on 8 hits, and they committed no error. The winning pitcher in relief is Braden Anderson for the Bruins with the victory. The Bellevue Bruins are now 33-13, 16-1 in conference, and that makes them the 2025 North Star Athletic Association Conference champions, uncontested, irregardless of the final 3 games. This is the 23rd conference championship for the Bellevue Bruins in their last 30 years. The suicide squeeze play wins it after the pitcher's duel kept the offense at bay.
Yeah, you called it. What a call from Coach Monluck's. Lind 2 hits on the day, probably looking to everybody expecting him to swing it. It wasn't on the first pitch. On the second pitch, just pushes one perfectly placed up the right side, scores the run without much of a play. Bellevue walks it off.
First baseman Ryan Muselar tried to make the play in the dying effort, but his attempt was too late as Jake Lacey sped home with the pitch, and the Bruins win it 2-1. Hey, that's a pretty good job for your first game of the season, huh?
Yeah, first one in a while. I feel bad for Parker McMahon. Got vultured him from the win there.
9 innings.
9 innings in a 7-inning game.
Yeah, an outstanding effort.
Braden Anderson, I'm sure he's getting called the vulture or something like that.
For Braden, that becomes win number 3. 3 wins, no losses, and 3 saves for Braden Anderson. Parker McMahon, a great effort through the first 9 innings. He'll lower his earned run average below 2.70, whatever that is. Compute 9 innings of only 1 earned run, and that's how game number 1 will come to an end. We'll be back in about 25 to 30 minutes with game number 2. We'll see if it's a 9-inning game or a 7-inning game since this one went extras. Mick and Mick back with you in about a half hour. Be sure to come back right here on the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network.